Hello everyone! Welcome. What's going on? It's Monday night. How's it going? What a start to the week. I hope everyone's feeling a little bit more chilled and cool this week so far. How's it going? It's Monday the 29th. We're not even in July yet. Are we? June, July? No, we're fine. Today we're going to be doing a few different things. I've got a job that I need your guys' help quoting. I'm struggling to get hold of the... Does anyone else have issues getting hold of scaffolders? I've tried to get a quote from like 3 different companies. The rest of them have got like bad reviews and stuff, so I'm just trying to get like a quote from the reputable ones, and they're just not getting back to me. And then we'll be doing a Q&A a little bit later on. So there'll be a Q&A segment for about half an hour or so. And we're also going to be doing a deep dive into some of our upselling strategies, where when a customer gets in touch for one service, we actually end up, feels kind of organic. We're just organically suggesting other things that they might be interested in. And the customer goes from being £100 customer to a potentially £1,000 customer, which isn't a bad day really, is it, for very little extra effort. So that's what we're going to have a go at breaking down today. And you can do it with all different types of services. It's not just one or two. It's basically all of the different services we offer are all sort of upsellable. And there's like a pipeline. I'm going to try and work out like a natural pipeline for Kieran as well, probably for our staff as well. It'll be like, okay, if the customer gets in touch for this, when we go around and quote the job, offer these other things as well, because guaranteed the customer is probably, you're gonna solve a customer's problem. Let's take block paving for example. The number one issue with block paving isn't that the blocks are dirty, it's that there's so many weeds. And so if you can solve that weed problem, we'll get onto that in a bit. We'll get onto it in a bit, but great intro. Thank you. I worked very hard on it. Thank you. Soph said it was a good one as well. It's a new intro for the channel. Spicing things up a little bit. W's in this chat. Welcome. Anthony, Jamie, Husky. Hi, welcome. Not a new studio, no. I do lots of networking, so know loads of trades around me, including scaffolders. Okay, yeah, I need to just like reach out to more people, I suppose, and just try and connect with more people locally, just so that I've got people I can call. Like I got in touch with a roofer recently. Well, he's an exterior cleaner, but he does roofing repairs as well, and that's been a good relationship so far. And I'm hoping to sort of nurture that a little bit, because he's done a few repairs for us and for our customers, and the customers are over the moon with his work. So that's been good. It's nice that we can clean the roof, and then if we spot any repairs, generally we're sending the drone up anyway. We can just send the drone shots to the chap, and he goes and sorts it for the customer, and he makes money, we make money, customer's happy because they've received a full service. It's nice being able to like recommend other locals, and they end up coming through and doing a really good job for you. Cedars, welcome. Paul, welcome. Tintin's welcome. Daz, welcome. I have posted on Ask a Supplier on Discord. I can't find information on how to convert a generator to a pressure washer. I believe it's just a few parts need changing. Maybe later in the Q&A. Maybe we can see if we can converting a generator to a pressure washer. That's a good question, because essentially a generator is just an engine, isn't it? You would have thought you just unbolt is it like an inverter or something that turns that rotational energy into like electricity? I don't know. Elliot, welcome. How you doing? Through a message on Facebook, your local group, and ask for a scaffolder to do work. We'll get you loads of requests, and then you just have a look through them. Do due diligence. I'll show you the job that we need scaffolding on, because it's not a small one, and it's quite a specific type of scaffolding that we need. Let me show you. Oh, thank you, Mishi.
Oh.
Thank you so much. That's such a surprise.
You can't be surprised.
Thank you. Could I trouble you?
Ah. Yeah.
Just bath water will do.
Yeah.
Anything, just bath water. I don't even know if there's anything in here. Do you like our new bottles? I tasked Kieran to find a thermal flask. I wanted one that will, you know, when you put ice in these, like there's still ice in there by the end of the day. So thermal and what's it? Heat stops it getting hot inside. So it's good for hot and cold drinks. But I wanted big enough where it's actually worth having, but small enough at the bottom so that I could fit it in the cup holder in the car and in the van. And he sent me a couple for like 20 odd quid on Amazon. I thought, I don't really want to spend 20 odd quid on a flask because I've got to get 2 of them. And then I spotted this in the garage on the way home, and it's perfect. It's white as well, so it sort of reflects the heat, I suppose. And it's been great.
I suppose.
Thank you.
Just scratching her back with a coat hanger.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Tracy, welcome.
Can we watch this tomorrow night?
Watch what?
This.
You want to watch me tomorrow night on the TV?
Yeah.
That's weird.
What?
You want to see what I'm talking about? Do you? Oh, that's pretty cute. Good night.
Good night.
Remove the head. Needs a new shaft as it's tapered. New side plate. I have no idea, mate. Tintins, I have no idea. Sorry. Sorry. Let me show you the job because so I'm not going to show you. I'm just going to show you. It's fine. So this is the job. Hang on. Commercial property. They've got in touch. They got in touch ages ago, and I haven't been able to find a scaffolder. Oh, that's pretty nice. Okay. So, commercial property. Big flat roof. 2 to 3 story, probably 3 story in terms of size, but it's actually 2 story. Mountains of moss up there. Thank you so much. Mountains of moss up there. Skylights could probably do with cleaning as well. They originally got in touch because the gutters were blocked and they've got leaks internally. So here, this is supposed to be a downpipe here. It's like an internal downpipe. And we found other examples around the roof. So there's loads of areas of standing water basically, and masses and masses of moss. So that's the building, that's the size of the building. There was another picture, there we go. So standing water there. There's a downpipe here somewhere, but it's blocked. Where's the other picture where you can actually see the downpipe? So you can sort of see one there. Look, there it is at the end of the channel. So what I'd like for this job is perimeter edge protection. So it's not like traditional scaffolding. I'm after perimeter edge protection. to stop us falling off the edge of the building, which we won't. This is just, unfortunately, and people are going to shout at me for saying this, this is a tick box exercise. We could quite happily get up on that roof and sweep the moss and unblock the downpipes. So we need something like this in place where it wraps around the whole edge of the roof. We're obviously not going to do it on a windy day. But I've presented these photos and the requirements to 3 different scaffolding businesses, and none of them have responded to me. They've all read it. They've all sort of a little bit of back and forth, so I know they say they're interested, but then they just come back with nothing. So what I'm hoping for is some kind of access tower getting up onto the roof, and then I'd also like a rubble chute that goes down into a skip. They've all said they can do it. They've all said they can do the full perimeter edge protection. They've said they can do the access tower. They've said they can do the rubble chute, but just not heard back from any of them. So it's almost 200 meters, a 200 meter perimeter. So we're gonna need like 200 meters of edge protection. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on how you would quote this job, because for me personally, this is not a difficult job. It's a case of, so originally the quote was just to clear the downpipes, but I sent up the drone, and then within minutes I'd sent her these photos, and she said, "Oh my god, that was quick. I can't believe you've got those over to me so quickly, and I can't believe how bad it is up there." So it's gone from literally unblocking the downpipes to doing like a full roof clean. I'm also going to quote, they haven't asked me to, but I'm also going to quote for all these skylights to be cleaned, just as optional extras, so they can just decide on the day whether they want to add those on or not while we're up there, because it's cheaper to have us do it all at the same time than it will be to call us back out in 6 months' time to get them cleaned. So the whole surface area is about 2,200 square meters. Very simple job in my eyes. Sweep up the rubble and sweep up the moss, unblock the downpipes, which will just be it will just be like surface stuff. You'll just be able to get your hand down there and just unblock the top of it. Water will start flowing and it'll be great. They've got leaks internally, so they do need to get it done. Sweep the moss up and send it down the rubble chute. In my eyes, it's as simple as that. And it pains me to think that the customer is going to have to fork out a good, I don't know what scaffolding costs, because I've never had to book scaffolding, but 3 to 6 grand. 3 to 6 grand for someone to come and do perimeter scaffolding, rubble chute, access tower. That's what I'd guesstimate. So on a job that we're going to charge probably less than the cost of the scaffolding, the customer's going to have to pay all that extra, which seems a shame. And this is my issue with scaffolding, you see. It's just it blows the cost of the job. These businesses will have some sort of maintenance budget for stuff like this, but it's still one of those things where it's like the customer's probably they're not expecting to have to pay 3 to 6 grand on scaffolding just to have their gutters cleared. There is an argument to be said we could just send the vacuum poles up and over to clear the downpipes. You know, send the drone up or send a camera up to guide the nozzle into the downpipe and just clear the downpipe. But it's going to get blocked straight away again by all the moss that's around it. So it's one of them, innit? Wouldn't it be cheaper to get a man-safe system installed on the building that's getting scaffolded? Do you think it would be cheaper? Do you think, well, let me ask you, Darren. Do you think it'd be cheaper to install a man-safe system here than it would be to have temporary scaffolding? Because if you do think it's cheaper, then I will look into that direction as well. But I'm intrigued to know what you guys would charge for something like that, because I haven't actually settled on a price just yet. PJB, welcome. Malvern Scaffolding and MDS are the 2 big ones around here. Jake, let me know when you are in need of a Westerman style machine again. I have a beauty, no more wobbly, fighty, belt, slippy nonsense. Cedars, I was looking at my Westerman video again the other day for some reason. I think I was going to send it to a customer or something. I'm not sure, but I would just sometimes. This is what's great about having a whole bank of videos for all different types of work. Is I can just pull stuff up from the past to describe how we do the job, and it's landed me quite a bunch of work doing it this way. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And so this is the Westerman video where we hired a Westerman that was basically falling apart. There was so many things wrong with it, and it meant that we didn't really. It didn't do a very good job. And Westerman actually commented on the video. Westerman UK commented and said, like, appreciate the honest feedback. It clearly wasn't working right, hadn't been maintained. We'd love a chance to help out next time. So that's pretty cool of them. I knew it wasn't supposed to be like that, and I didn't suggest that these machines are crap. I just said, like, the one we've got is crap. If you want to go and see that video, that was posted 6 months ago. It's called The First Time Using a Westerman. But thank you, Cedars. If we do have one, did you buy one new? Because if we do have one that we need to, I could, yeah, I'd be down to rent that off you. That'd be cool. You're only up the road, aren't you? On your 30 litre per minute machine, do you have it on full tilt? Basically, with block paving, when you do more delicate surfaces, do you turn it down? We very rarely have it on full tilt. The only time I'm turning it all the way up, highest pressure, highest revs, is when I've got the black nozzle on, we've got great water pressure, and I'm just rinsing at highest flow rate and pressure possible. It's not highest pressure because it's a big nozzle, so it's like low pressure, loads of water's going down on the surface. It drains the tank in minutes. With the big black soap nozzle, when we're rinsing down occasionally, if it's a big area, it feels so good, feels so powerful. I'll show you a video of Kieran using it today on full chat, which it's probably not, it was only a very quick video. It's probably not a great, it won't give you a great idea of how it runs, but was it general chat? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's only a couple of seconds. It's not a great video, but this is Kieran using it today. So it just puts so much water down. So this was today's job. Only posted in the Discord, by the way. Occasionally the Discord get a few little sneak behind the scenes snippets of jobs that we're doing day to day. This job, Indian sandstone patio, granite block paved driveway with a tarmac inlay, and we had this job done. We started at 9. We had this entire job done by 10:15. So I just think this is so much quicker than I would have done it when I first started. I just spent probably all day on this when I first started, but now we're getting these jobs done in just over an hour. Full tarmac clean, and I didn't even have my big surface cleaner. I forgot my big surface cleaner back at the unit, so I had to use the little 14-inch little stick it on the end of your lance jobby. And we still got it done in an hour. We've got our new, I'm trying to take health and safety a little bit more seriously. This is the first time we've ever had cones or any sort of signs for our trailing hoses. So I've got one sign that's got like a trip hazard warning on it, and then we've got another cone as well. And so we finished that job, and we literally went to the neighbours next door. This is the Discord, by the way, if anyone's interested in joining. And then we went onto our next job, which was the next door neighbours block paved patio. And this one's getting hard setting jointing sand, so we had to make sure the cobbles were properly clear. There was so much sand that came out of this. But yeah, that rinse nozzle was an absolute dream on full whack. I have a Vario flow gun. Oh, so generally, PJB, to answer your question, that 30 litre per minute machine is generally running on idle. Probably around about 20 litres per minute, same as the one below it, above it. I have a vary flow on the gun, so I can alter the power of the gun. I think I'm right in saying that. Yep, you can alter the flow, yeah. Search for a safe contractor approved scaffolding and pricing 2 days money to clean the roof off and clean skylights. Skip on site if it's belts and braces, a bit more to cover your time doing your rams, etc. Yes, that will take us less than a day to clear all the moss, clean the gutters out and clean the skylights. So that the work will take us less than a day. But the sort of cost on the scaffolding and stuff, it's just going to be a little bit, it's a bit annoying, a bit silly. Can you not get a cherry picker in that will go above and beyond the roof? You can tie onto and move the picker depending on the roof location. That is not a viable method, unfortunately. I've done a lot of research into all this, and that would be my first thought, is the cherry picker gets you up there, gets you up and down nice and safe, tick. Is a good what's it called? It's not a harness point. It's not a harness point. What's it called? It's a something point for you to put your rope on and tie off on, like a tie off point. Oh my god, it's escaping me. But that is not good in the eyes of the HSE. Not a good way of doing it, and you should apparently never tie off to the cherry picker basket. That is not the done thing. It's even frowned upon to leave the cherry picker basket at all. So even the cherry picker is not designed to send you up to a platform and then for you to leave the cherry picker. That's not the way it's supposed to be done. You also need like a rescue plan. So you need someone on the ground that can work the controls if something goes wrong. You need like multiple. The easiest, like the safest and easiest way is to get full perimeter scaffolding, unfortunately. Millhouse, welcome. Hope it is all is going well. Thank you. It is. I appreciate all your comments, mate, on my videos. I always see your comments. You seem to watch all the videos, and you're always so positive in the comments, and I really appreciate you. Thank you. You don't tie onto a picker as an anchor. That's what I meant. Anchor. Thank you. Definitely cheaper in the long run because it can be used again. Yes, true. Yeah. I might look into that then. Can that be done at short notice? I doubt it. Second, having a message system. I second having a message system that would likely be cheaper to install. Oh, okay, I see. If something goes wrong, the cherry picker can pull you off the roof. Yeah. Clive, welcome. Probably go for some ladders and a puffy coat. Yeah, that would just... I'd get into so much trouble. You can buy my Westerman. Oh, you don't like it? Oh. What's wrong with your Westerman? I thought you're just raving about it. You don't actually like it. Would them cable trays be a good option to run hoses in as colours out a trip hazard? Would them cable trays? I have seen those cable trays. Cable tray. I have seen these. Yes, but our hoses are all coming from all different angles, and we're constantly adjusting the hoses depending on whether we need to send them into the back garden, or clean down the road, or wash the neighbour's drive, or whatever it might be. And so, why can't I find the one I was after? I saw a picture of it just. These things. These are good. Not quite what we're after, unfortunately. I think they'd cause us more problems than they'd solve. So we're happy with the cones at the minute. Yes. Just looked at the ManSafe system. £2,000 plus VAT in with your price, and you have it for future jobs. How have you got a quote like that quickly? Is that for that big of a roof as well? Stick with 21 litres per minute. Yeah, I would personally. I mean, it is nice to have that extra oomph when you need it, but we rarely use it. Do you ever use polymeric sand on patios? Polymeric sand on patios? Yes, we have done in the past. We had some grey honed sandstone, which the joints were just... It was a very poorly laid patio. The joints were so thin that it just wasn't worth pointing them. And so I just suggested to the customer, like, we use this on block paving, similar size joints. I think it will work really well. You don't even need to grind out what's already there. We can literally just blast it out with the pressure washer, because it was just basically just flaking out. What was already put in was flaking out, because when the joints are so thin, those bigger products, the more meaty products, aren't designed for joints less than 5mm, I think. And the polymeric sand would be perfect for that. We've used it in thicker joints and it's been great. Like, honestly, it's been really good. Just don't film it, or don't fall. The HSE won't know. Someone will take a video of me, guaranteed. Did a commercial roof a couple of weeks ago. Glad I didn't film it. People tripping over the hose, tripping over the cone instead of the hose. I want you guys to shout a price out for this job. What would you guys charge? The whole roof. Sweep up the moss. Forget the scaffolding for now. Just our labour. Me and Kieran. Sweep up the moss. Clear the gutters. Maybe even just leave the skylights for now. Just sweep up the moss, clear the gutters. And then I'll tell you where I'm at with it. Providing we've got easy access, like whatever system we choose, whether it's scaffolding or what. We're not doing this lower bit, we're just doing the flat roof at the top. So the full area is 2,200 square meters. It'll be like plus skip hire, plus access, whatever it might be. 600 quid, says Alex. Alex, by the way, I think you still have an active... I think you still have an active boosted membership. I don't know whether you're still paying or not, but you are a VIP now. Because you've contributed so much in the Discord, you can stop paying for your membership and you will still have full access to the Discord, just to let you know. I appreciate your contributions. You've only been a member for 4 or 5 months, I think. I can't remember. But your contributions so far have already, That's not to say that your experience and like your answering other questions or answering other people's questions and stuff, that's not necessarily what it's all about. It's sort of getting involved, trying to help out where you can, because I know you're only about 4 months in yourself, I think, if I'm right in saying that. But just doing the So Alex and Matt have been doing a podcast, certified. Oh no! Have I ruined my microphone now? I hope not. Certified Discord podcast, which is in the announcements section. So they've been every couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've just had it come up saying on air on mine.
Yeah.
Every couple of weeks they're hosting.
It's one to keep an eye on.
A podcast
separate
within the Discord, and they're talking about public liability insurance. I just think this is brilliant. I think it's cool. Very cool that you're doing this with Matt, obviously, and with Zenith as well. Oh, identify this. I like these ones. I like responding to these. Whole garden is like this. It's just concrete, right? So the flat surface cleaner will do the job. It's like a jungle. Let's have a look. That looks strange. I would say that is just pattern imprinted concrete, but it's a strange pattern. You don't have to see that, but let's look for repeating patterns. Do we see any repeating patterns? Because that'll be the big test. That's how you can sort of tell that it's a stamp. I'm not actually seeing any. Can anyone else see any repeating patterns there? Ooh. It's got to be concrete though, isn't it? I would go concrete. They're not slabs, are they? It's just like a print. There's no mortar, there's no grout, it's just... Unless there is. I don't think there is. There's a big one there, a big circle there. Hmm. Isn't that just cobbles embedded in the cement like crazy paving? Where do you see flat cobbles like this? It could be. It could be because the raised bits are pink. They're all quite consistently pink, and then the mortar is a different colour. But you can also get that effect with pattern imprinted concrete. So I don't know. Thanks, Jake. I'm happy to keep it going for the free advertising on the members map. Nice. Speaking of the members map, thank you for bringing that up, because the members map is now live on my website. So when my customers go to the contact us page, I hope this looks good because I only integrated it the other day and it was looking a bit funky on the phone. They scroll down and they can see how far we go and where we're based, and then if they keep scrolling they can find a local contractor who's local to them, and the map is embedded on my website. So if they're close to Worcester, they can find Daz, and it comes up with all his details. It's got a link to his website, all the different services that he offers, and his phone number and his logo and a nice little picture of him. How cool is that? We've got exterior essentials. We've got Alex. Alex, I think I need some logos from you. Logos and splash pictures. So the logo will appear here, the splash picture, which I've already got your logo actually. The splash background will appear here. So we've got obviously Matt. We've got a few to add. We've got house to a home. A few different people to add from the last couple of days. But if you're already in the Discord, The announcement was a couple of weeks ago. So if you go into the announcements section, you can read exactly what you need to do to become a part of the members map and be featured on my website in front of my customers. You must have at least 10 5-star reviews on a public platform. You must be an active member of the Discord, and you must hold valid business insurance, whether that's liability insurance or something else. And I think being a part of my community already says, I would say that means that you're invested in the work. You're not just an everyman that's trying to get paid as quick as possible. You're actually engaging with the community, which I think is a very positive thing. So that's a barrier to entry. I think 10 reviews is obvious. I think that's a good barrier to entry too. Business insurance, I think, should be as a minimum standard for everyone. But a lot of sort of, I don't want to call them cowboys. I hate throwing the word cowboys around, but a lot of cowboys won't have insurance. I think that's it's not to say that I endorse you, but you're part of my community. I've stated it quite clearly on the website. Look, I don't, they're active members of my community. I don't personally endorse or guarantee the work, so make sure you still do your own diligence. But I think this is good. I'm glad we did this. So the members map before, the members map was just for us contractors within the Discord to be able to pull in additional help from other local contractors that are in the community. But now we've gone public with it because I think it'll be a useful tool for my customers, because we get inquiries from all over the UK. Literally all over the UK, people get in touch with us, and a lot of the times we're letting the leads go to waste, because I'll have a quick look on the members map. There's no one really nearby, so the lead it's not. Sometimes it's not big or interesting enough job or viable for me to actually bother quoting it. The leads sort of just go to waste sometimes, which is a shame. So if I can build up a network of people all around the UK that I can say, even if I don't have to say, go and visit. Oh, that was quick.
Guess who's awake and seen it?
Oh no.
Come here, Maya.
That's a Teddylicious, that is. That is a Kinder. That's a Biscoff milkshake.
It was quick.
That was quicker than I usually do it.
She came down. She's like, "Can you take my hair out?" She was like, "What's that?"
No.
And I was like, "Nothing." She was like, "But what's in there?" So she's drinking mine now. Monkey.
You're cheeky. Did you get Oreo?
Kinder
Bueno.
And have a little sip of your daddy's.
Don't come on the camera, please.
What is it?
Because you're in your pants.
Biscoff.
$3,000 plus. You think, Alex? You think $3,000 for that job? I'm comfortable doing this for $1,000. This is less than a day's work for us. Literally going around with the broom, chucking it off the edge. Job done for us. Obviously, the access is going to be a lot more. Not a difficult job at all. Quite a big area, granted, but it wouldn't take us long.
That is tasty.
I'd be happy with $1,000 on this job. How do I get on the members map? I think I just went through it all. If you missed it, I can go through it again.
Go then. Give back to him. She said yours is better than mine.
Thank you.
Good girl. Say
Thank you,
goodnight.
Mummy.
No
Good night,
more.
girlie.
Good night.
One last sip. Don't do
For some reason, I don't get notifications in the Discord. I also forget to go on it. Oh, you got to change that, mate. You just go in your settings, Discord settings, and just turn on your notifications or permissions or whatever it is on your phone. Yeah, get involved, mate. The Discord is the best thing I've ever done for my business. Like, having a community like this where you can bounce ideas off other people. Honestly, I'm not just saying it because I host it. It's so reassuring. If you're struggling with pricing something, just stick it in the quotes and pricing section, and just like this guy did today. What are you guys pricing 2-car driveways? I'm currently at 220 quid. So this guy's done it right. He's not just said, what's the going rate for block paving, he said, I'm quoting this at about 220 quid. So we've got a rules section which I recommend people read, and it basically says, we're not going to run your business for you, so don't come in just asking for pricing with no context, no effort from you whatsoever, no photos, whatever it might be. Try yourself first. Give us a bit of, like, as much context as possible. Pictures would be great as well, and then we can sort of offer our perspective based on what you've already come up with yourself, because you don't learn if people just, if you post up a job and say, how much should I charge for this, and someone tells you 300 quid, you haven't learned anything. So that's the way we like to do things. This chap said 220 quid, wondering if I'm a bit low. I'm at 250 quid based on about 50 square meters. So that's the way we like to do things. And I think that's been working well. Oh, 3,600 quid. Best part of 2 grand. 600 quid. To be fair, you're not within 2 meters of the edge. You don't need to be harnessed, and just a picker for the gutters. So this was my thinking on this job, right? If I have edge protection here, it's potentially blocking a lot of this moss being removed with a broom, because we're just going to broom it. Are you saying we only need edge protection if we're not 2.5 meters from the edge? To be fair, you're not within 2 meters of the edge. You don't need to be harnessed. Because I can stretch the broom 2 meters away from me. If I stay 2 meters back of the edge and stretch the broom out and brush backwards, I don't think that would stand up. If there's a huge gust of wind and someone got blown off the roof, we would be absolutely torn apart for not having any sort of health and safety in place. So you're saying, I'm curious because that edge protection would create some issues for us. I'm curious. Can you just work off a boom lift and scrape all the moss to the edges, then vac it all up? Job will be a lot cheaper too. This is what I would do to save walking on the roof, as it doesn't look safe to walk on, don't you think? I think it does. I think that looks fine to walk on. Look at the amount of standing water on that roof. That water weighs more than I do. Doing this all from a cherry picker, regardless of how big that boom is, would be very slow work, I would suggest. That would be very slow work. I don't think I'd want to do the job if I was confined to a cherry picker. I don't think I'd want to do it. For the last 3 months, I've been writing a business plan, working on who my suppliers will be, etc. Have now been in my area. Established jet washing companies are charging about £25 per hour. Ulsden? Is that your name? Ulsden? I don't know anyone that's charging by the hour for pressure washing. I don't know where you're from, but in the UK, I don't know anyone that charges by the hour. Some people are charging a day rate, and that's split into half a day or a full day. Other people are charging by the square meter. Other people are turning up and sort of looking at the job and sort of guesstimating a price. Or they need to hit a certain price per day, which again is just like a day rate. The issue with charging by the hour is that you're not working every hour of the day. So if you've got an 8-hour day and you've got 3 jobs on that day, let's say 2 jobs for argument's sake, you're not working an 8-hour day. You're probably working a 6.5, 7-hour day. And there's other times of the year where you'll just be working half a day. You'll just have the one job in that day, especially when you're new. You've only got the one job in, and you could say, oh my god, that job was 300 quid. It only took me 2 hours. That's £150 an hour. But it's not £150 an hour because you've still got another 6 hours of the day left that you've got no work booked in for. So if you do 300 divided by 8 hours, you're actually on £37.50 an hour. You're not on £37.50 an hour because you haven't taken into account any of your expenses, like your fuel, any of your costs, your insurance, your tax. You've got to take 20% off that because your tax. All of your consumables, your gloves, it's nowhere near that really. So I think it's very difficult to charge by the hour unless you're very busy. If you've got a fully booked calendar, I think it's a little bit easier. I wouldn't recommend it. You're leaving so much money on the table. I'd either choose a day rate that you're comfortable with and make sure you've got enough work in the calendar to hit that day rate, or charge by the square meter. I've found that charging by the square meter is much more lucrative. You can charge a lot more money. You can justify it because I've got a pricing structure. This is my price per square meter. Doesn't matter how long it's going to take me. I'm charging you for the result. I'm not charging you for my time. And that's how I present it if anyone ever questions me. No one in Yorkshire. We need a trusted Yorkshire business. There we go. Opportunities in Yorkshire. I've sent my reviews and insurance proof by personal message. Thank you. Is that in the Discord? Because if it is, I'll get you to fill out a short form. That'll ask for your details, company details, and which services you offer. You can attach your logo, you can attach a splash picture, and then it'll pop up to say, I can add you to the map, and then I'll do that. Craig, welcome. The Discord group is class. I've learned so much since joining last week. Cheers, everyone. The big Psydog, the Big's iDog, the Bigsy dog. Thanks for the kind words. I'm glad you're finding it useful. That's wrong if you're working above 2 meters from the ground. Technically, if you're within 2 meters from any edge you can fall from, you don't need to be harnessed to anything. I am going to give Gemini if I've been tasked to clean the moss from this flat roof. If I stay further than 2 meters from the edge, do I require a harness or edge protection? The short answer is that simply staying 2 meters from the edge is not automatically a substitute for proper safety measures. You must conduct a formal risk assessment. Under the UK working at height regulations, hierarchy of controls, demarcation is not suitable for edge protection, while some guidance notes. Edge protection where the risk of falling is more than 2 meters. Where the risk of falling is more than 2 meters. A HSE executive will require edge protection. Harness is considered full restraint or fall arrest system is generally viewed as a last resort. Shows a commercial roof environment. A competent person must evaluate the site-specific hazards, roof stability, surface conditions, if the roof is slippy. You cannot assume that staying 2 meters away removes the requirement for edge protection. You should consult the HSE for guidance. See, last time I consulted the HSE for guidance, they basically said that they can't help me. Here's our generic guidance. for all the things you could do, but we can't help you on this specific job because as soon as we offer you advice, we become liable, is basically what they said to me. I'm paraphrasing, but £25 an hour, yeah, I'm staying in bed. How do you join the Discord? I'm very glad you asked. If you go onto my main YouTube channel, in any of the videos, there'll be a link to get access to the Discord. There's a link just there. If you can't see that link, simply go to my main channel where you can see all my videos and description and all that sort of stuff. In the main channel description at the top here, there's a Discord community link, and that will give you access to the Discord. Boosted members, if you wanted to join as a boosted member, the higher tier, you get access to all these promotional images as well that you can use on your websites, your Facebook pages, your leaflets. There's about 1,500 before and after pictures here.
There's a big spider in my room and it's so quick and it's on my dress.
There's a big spider.
Is there any chance you'd like to take a break? I've got things that I've tried.
Is it big, big?
He's big. He's
How
fast.
big? How big are we talking?
That big.
The size of your hand? Guys,
Rescue mission.
it's time to step up and be a man. I need to go and take care of an issue that the girls are having. It's only a man can do this job. This is what we were made for. My time has come to shine. I'm going to go and defeat a spider. I will be back shortly.
You won't defeat him, you'll put him outside.
I'll put him outside. We don't kill spiders. I'll be back shortly. Talk amongst yourselves. Go and grab yourself a cup of tea, a drink. Settle back in. We've got loads to talk through. We've got a Q&A session coming up. And we are also going to be doing a bit of a deep dive into upselling different services, which will be interesting. Back in a sec. We've got him. We've got him.
Coach.
He's in the unicorn mug. I'm just going to go and deal with this baddie outside and then I'll be back.
Watch Cola. Oh my gosh, you can see it from there. Thank you, Daddy.
Well, you'll hear it.
Yeah.
I did try. He crawled up my arm.
Got him. Got him. So boosted members get access to all these different pictures. There's gutter clearing pictures, like hundreds of them. There are stuff like this, like this. There's 2 folders for block paving because there's so many of them. Stuff like this. So boosted members get all these pictures. fascia soffits, conservatories, chemical application, slabs, concrete, stain removal, repointing. There's even Christmas lights when that time comes. Anyway, what were we talking about? What were we talking about? Spend more than 25 quid an hour on fuel and chemicals. That is true. That is true. Craig, just give me all your information and you too get to be a part of the Smelt Members Map. I just need your bank account number, your sort code. That's it, mate. On average, how many 5 kilogram sand would you use for 100 square meters driveway? We buy in 25 kilograms. And we do about 15 meters square per bag. So 100 divided by 15, you're looking at about 6 or 7 bags, generally. Right then. Upselling. Upselling different services. I'm trying to create a pipeline, not only for me, but for my staff, and also for you guys. And I think it's a useful... Can you do me a favour? What, Craig? What? I'm in the middle of something. I'm busy. An upselling pipeline, because I think there's so many opportunities when you're walking around with a customer, and we're trying to do more with our inquiries that come through. I've realised I'm losing my touch. I'm losing that personal, communicative thing that made me successful in the first place. People loved that I answered messages so quickly. They loved that I'd come out and talk them through the job, and they were sold before I'd even given them the price. And so that's what I want to get back to. I've become so busy that it's been very difficult to do that, and I've lent towards quoting remotely where possible, and I think it's having a negative impact on the business in more ways than one. It's missed opportunities, it's not getting yourself out there in front of the customer, and missing those upsells, missing those other jobs that the customer didn't even realise that you could do for them. So it's hurting profit and productivity, and we can land more work if we get in front of the customer early. A remote quote compared to quoting in person, I think the difference is night and day when it comes to landing the work. So that's what we're going to try and do more of. Can you give me a rough price on a driveway clean that you posted on your socials about 17 months ago? Mine's about the same, just a rough price. No, you can't have my address, it's just a rough price. What are you talking about? Are you pretending to be one of my customers that never intend to get the work done? You're joking, aren't you? You're actually joking. I was reading that seriously then. When you charge per square metre, do you quote the sand on top or do you include it in the square metre price? I include it in my £5 per square metre. Clean it, chemically treat it, come back on a dry day to resand it, £5 per square metre, there's your price. Minimum charge for a block pave job, it's probably about 180 quid, regardless of how big it is. You use paint on it. Are you actually being serious, Craig? Craig, we're coming up to Liverpool soon to do a block paved, to do a block magic job next week. Maybe we can meet for a little coffee or something. So, quoting pipeline or upselling pipeline for block paving initially, and how we differentiate ourselves from other people. I'm explaining the process to the customer. They get in touch for a block paving clean. They think they might need it resanding as well. Yes, you do. That's our standard service for all block paving jobs. And we'll also chemically treat it for you as well. So we're pressure washing it, clearing the joints, clearing the weeds and the moss. We'll come back on a dry day, or we'll chemically treat it to get rid of any black spots. And we'll come back on a dry day to resand it for you. And generally their main issue with the block paving stuff is the weeds. And while I'm never making any guarantees with regards to weed regrowth, because you can't, because it's Mother Nature and you have no control over that, there is a couple of things you can do to help prevent that weed regrowth. I'm talking to you as if I'm talking to the customer, by the way. A couple of things you can do to help slow it down or inhibit the weed regrowth. The first thing you can do is you could seal the surface. So we can apply 2 coats of clear sealer. It'll give a nice sheen to the blocks. It'll deepen the colour of the blocks, but the main point is that it will also set the sand hard between the joints. And that will help to slow down the weed regrowth because it will create that hard barrier for the weeds to come back up through. That's not to say that it will stop them forever, because they will eventually come back through. I don't know how long it will take, no one does. But they will eventually come back through. But it's better than just having kiln dried sand in the joints. It significantly increases the cost to almost double. But the option's there if you want it. Slightly cheaper twist on that, slightly cheaper version, which we've started leaning more towards, is the Nexus Pro Joint Poly Sweep. So this isn't a sealer, this is a hard setting jointing sand that we're using. This comes in a little bit cheaper than the sealer because the product itself is slightly cheaper and there's a little bit less effort involved. So pricing for block paving, we're at £5 per square metre including kiln dried sand. When we're including the Pro Joint Poly Sweep, we're adding another £2.50 per square metre. So let's base it off of a 50 square metre driveway. Our standard price is 250 quid. If we were to add the Pro Joint Poly Sweep, we're at 375 quid. So it does dramatically increase the price by 125 quid, but it's only a little bit more effort for us. It covers, that extra £2.50 covers the cost of the product. So we're basing that off, we pay less than 30 quid for the sand, for the Poly Sweep. We collect it locally and we generally pass it anyway, so it's no extra effort for us to collect it. We generally keep it in stock. So that extra £2.50 accounts for the cost of the sand. It also includes a bit of additional labour as well because it's a slightly more technical product to install. So with kiln dried sand, you're just sweeping it into the joints and blowing it off with a leaf blower. With this stuff, you're sweeping it into the joints. I'd say you've got to be a little bit more thorough about how you're sweeping it in and a little bit more precise. You're blowing it off with the leaf blower. And then you're watering, you're going over it with 3 to 4 passes of water. So one mist pass, and we just get the pressure washer on it. We vary through different types of nozzles depending on which pass we're on. So the first pass is like a high pressure, but it's sort of turned all the way down. So we use a thin nozzle to create a mist, just to go over the surface to just sort of dampen the joints. The next pass is the same nozzle, but slightly closer to the surface, and then we generally pull out the X-jet and get a little bit more water down, and then the last pass, the fourth pass, is more of like a rinse, because sometimes you get some sort of cloudy concrete style residue. It's like a foamy residue on the top, and you can just rinse that off on the last pass, super low pressure, but it's just getting rid of any of that cloudiness that might set on the surface of the blocks. So this comes in a little bit cheaper than the sealing, just because it's only a slight bit of extra effort for us. We're covering the cost of the product. Bearing in mind that £5 per square metre includes kiln dried sand, which probably accounts for like £1 per square metre. So we're removing the kiln dried sand and still charging another £2.50. So we're definitely making a decent amount of margin on it, but it's not so much where the customer sort of screws their face up and thinks that's not worth it. It's such an easy sell. I would say 95% of the customers that the drives that we want to do it on, because they've got like appropriate size joints and they're not like absolutely battered by the weathering. They're not like super rough and stuff. The drives that we want to do the poly sweep on, we'll suggest it to the customer. 95% of them are excited to go ahead with the product. So it's not a hard sell at all. So I'd encourage you, if you're not offering it already, some people go in with a whacker plate. It does say in the instructions to use a whacker plate, but as far as I'm concerned, I think the whacker plate is only necessary on a new install. So when you install block paving for the first time, you always use a whacker plate to vibrate the kiln dried sand down into the joints. I think on a surface that you've cleaned and then put the poly sweep in, I personally don't think the whacker plate's necessary. I'm sure if you go over it with a whacker plate, it would vibrate more down and you'd end up filling more gaps. I just don't think it's worth my time doing it with a whacker plate. It would sort of blow out the cost of the job for me and make it not as accessible, not as viable. So we don't use a whacker plate. I don't want to be carrying a whacker plate around with me just to do a bit of resanding. So that's the first option, around about £7.50 all in, including the cleaning, the resanding and the poly sweep. Or they could upgrade to, so they've got two different paths. They have the standard service, which is, and by the way, I think I'm going to build my website out like this for each individual service. So at the top of the website, it's like pressure washing, drop down, block paving, opens up a block paving page. It starts with, here's our standard service: pressure washing, chemically treating, resanding. Then it splits off into two. You can, optional upgrades, you can have the Pro Joint Poly Sweep, hard setting jointing sand, or you could go for the sealer. And sort of a clear distinction as to like this is a bronze, this is a silver, this is a gold package. And I'd say sealer, not that it's insanely more effective than the Pro Joint Poly Sweep, but it's definitely a more premium option because you're sealing the face of the slabs, the face of the blocks as well. So you're preventing the weathering effects. You've got the resistance to oil staining and rust and all that sort of stuff. So you've got added benefits of sealer. So sealing, 2 coats of, generally we're working with Smart Seal block paving sealer. Block paving sealer. So generally we're working with this. By the way, you can get discounts on Smart Seal. There's a little pop-up here that will pop up in a bit using one of my codes. So you'll get a slightly cheaper price than this. 2 coats of block paving sealer, sets the sand hard between the joints, helps to enhance the look of the blocks. We're at around about £10 per square metre for this service. So it is literally doubling the cost of the job. Most of that is product. A lot of it is labour. So if we consider, let's break it down again to 50 square metres. So if we consider we need 2 coats, so that's 100 square meters basically, and average coverage is around about 4 meters squared per litre. So we need 25 litres minimum to do 2 coats on a 50 square metre driveway. So we're already charging 250 quid for the clean and the resand. And then on top of that, we need to spend another 155 quid on the sealer itself. And then we've got a return. And that labour, it gives us about an extra 100 quid in labour to install the sealer, which I think is reasonable. Some people are at like 12-14 pound per square metre for sealing. I think personally that's a little bit high. Once you've found the sealer that you like as well, there might be a slightly different variation in price depending on how much you're paying for your sealer and which one you go for, what sort of coverage you get. But I think that's a good. I think bronze £5 per square metre for the clean and sand, silver £7.50 per square metre for the hard setting jointing sand, or gold £10 per square metre for the clean, the sand and the seal. Now there's going to be an additional step towards the bottom of the page, which is yes, we are using a chapping sprayer for block paving. Chapping sprayer to seal block paving. We don't roll it on because I've tried rolling it on in the past and it has a tendency of pulling out the sealer onto the roller, and then you spread it across the face of the slabs. It sets rock hard and there's nothing really you can do about it, and it's a total nightmare to try and fix. So we don't bother doing that anymore. There's definitely ways of doing it. There's techniques where you can get a good finish using a roller. I've just not really got the patience for it. I'd rather just spray it on. Get that first coat on nice and thick so that you're saturating the sand between the joints, and then the second coat is more of just like a it's not a light mist. I'd say it's almost as heavy as the first, but not quite. So you use a little bit more product on the first coat, more like 3 meters squared per litre, and then on the second coat you're using more like 5, so I just average it out at 4. You know what I mean? What patio surfaces can you not use hypochlorite on? We'll do a Q&A session from about 9 o'clock. So we'll do like maybe 9:30 actually. We'll do like a half an hour to an hour Q&A. So just if you want to stick around for that, great. If not, maybe join next week and we'll go through it again. Or ask in the Discord, and we'll chat to you in the Discord. Right then, so towards the bottom of the page, I'm thinking about putting maintenance plans. Maintenance plans is going to include a buyer-side maintenance plan, and I'm thinking today, me and Kieran, I think we've decided that it would be worthwhile investing in our PA1, PA6 weed killer license, at least one of us anyway, maybe not both of us, because it's like, isn't it like 600 odd quid? I'm thinking about doing it towards the end of summer, when we get a little bit quiet. I think August actually. There's a few days in August, there's a few weeks in August last year that went a little bit quiet. So not only can we offer you these services, but we can maintain your driveway going forward to help with that weed prevention and to help stop the algae regrowth. So a couple of things I've learned. Biocide will help to keep the surface looking clean and moss free. So it removes algae and it kills moss and helps inhibit moss. Weed killer does not target algae, and biocide does not target weeds. So it would sort of be nice to have a mix of both products. And I think there's something we can do there with a service plan. So what I'm thinking about offering is a biocide maintenance plan every 6 months. So we'll come in, we'll literally just X-jet biocide down at around about 1 to 30, and that'll keep it algae and moss free. And then as soon as weeds start appearing, we then start to do our weed killer maintenance plan in combination with the biocide. So we're hitting it from both angles. So a weed killer, well, the weed killer that we're going to be using, which is going to be an acetic acid, that is effective on both weeds and moss. It's a real shame that it's not effective on algae as well, because if it was, one product could do all three issues that people have with block paving. Does anyone know of a product that targets weeds, algae and moss? Because I've not found it yet. Biocide will do the moss and algae. Weed killer or acetic acid will do moss and weeds. So it seems like we need both, obviously at different times, because we don't really want them mixing. But I'm thinking that could be the key to safe, secure, repeat income, like you'd expect from a window cleaning round, but as an exterior cleaner, as a pressure washing business. So we invest in the weed killer license, and we put a couple of posts out on social media, or we put a section on our website to say once we've cleaned it, we can also maintain it all year round. Any thoughts on that? You can get a 5 litre tub of 30% acetic acid. You dilute that down to about 1 to 4. So you'll end up with 20 litres of product roughly. Is that right? Yeah, roughly 20 litres of product. Which can cover a significant area. That can do easily 60 square metres, 70 square metres. No problem. And you're paying about 16 quid for the weed killer per driveway, for example. So the costs are quite high, but you're not treating specific weeds. The selling point here, we're not going around squirting the weed killer on specific weeds. We're going to X-jet the weed killer, the acetic acid, on the whole driveway. So you're getting a super thorough. It's not like a gardener going around with his pump sprayer and just spraying the individual weeds. We're literally spraying the whole. So even if you can't see the weeds that are coming through, they haven't properly formed yet, we're still going to get them. Weeds require a herbicide. Algae and moss are best treated with a biocide, so it will need 2 products. Yeah, I thought the same. What's the best way of understanding your ratios for X-jet and biocide spraying through the pressure washer? Do you measure your flow rate at a certain bar? No, but that would be a good idea. That would be a good idea. We find a pressure or a bar or a flow rate that we're happy with in terms of using the X-jet, because sometimes you'll use the X-jet and it's like, oh no, that's way too much power. Let's turn it down a little bit. Once we set it to that good point, it's probably worth taking a note of that and then trying to get a flow rate measurement on it. So filling up a jug or a bucket, which might be quite difficult to do because it's so high pressure, it's going to splash everywhere. And then matching that up with the proportioner chart to see how much water we're putting out to make sure we get the correct dilution ratio. That would be a good idea to do. Would definitely be a good idea. Acetic acid isn't a systemic weed killer, meaning you're charging for things to still grow back sooner. If you've gone for the PA1, PA6, might as well access the right goods to do the job. Systemic weed killer is 2 or 3 weeks later, then do your clean. Kind of pointless any other way. Spraying the weeds with weed killer doesn't make them disappear though, and spraying Spraying weed killer where weeds are not yet grown won't be effective. Not necessarily what I meant about spraying weeds where they've not yet grown. It's more about covering the whole drive so that you can, so that you're getting the weeds that you can't see at a quick visual inspection. You know what I mean? Because quite often it's hard to keep up with catching all the weeds. You know what I mean? When you're just walking around the drive quickly, spraying the weeds, it's hard to know whether you've got them all. And so I think also covering the entire driveway, it means you're going to get them all. And also you're going to get the ones that are just forming in the sand that maybe you can't see just yet, but they're definitely there. I wouldn't be using it as a preventative. I'd be using it as like a on contact sort of killer. So it's not a systemic weed killer. That is curious. Gemini. Is acetic acid a systemic weed killer? It's a non-selective contact herbicide. It works by burning and desiccating the specific plant tissue it touches. Breaks down the plant's waxy outer cuticle, leading to rapid moisture loss and cell death. Unlike glyphosate, which are absorbed by the plant and transported to the roots, acetic acid stays exactly where it's applied. Interesting. Okay. Because it doesn't travel to the root system, it generally fails to kill the established perennial weeds. Okay. So maybe not acetic acid then. Noted. You mentioned 30-1, but are you drawing the bio from a bucket already mixed? Currently we're doing it through a soft washing system, which is pre-mixed. Yeah, we're batch mixing, but we're going to probably be changing it. We can't get it down quick enough, basically. Google Rigby Taylor. Rigby Taylor. Plant protection products. So do we need a herbicide? Non-selective herbicide, probably. Oh, Gallop. I don't think people like Gallop, do they? High concentration of glyphosate. Okay. So including VAT, it's almost 60 quid for 5 litres. And how do you dilute that, I wonder? Does it say? Industrial situations, 4 to 6 litres into 80 to 250 litres of water. Okay. So what's that? Let's do 5 divided by 100, or 100 divided by 5. What am I even working out there? I don't even know what I'm working out. Oh, it's what, 1 to, okay, it's 1 to, roughly 1 to 20. Okay, that's very good. Interesting. 25-litre tub, X-Jet onto the roof. X-Jet onto the roof. How much are you charging for raking out and grinding? Should we do a bit of Q&A? It's 9 o'clock. Let's do a Q&A. Let's open up the floor to questions. Let's do Q&A time. This is like lift music, isn't it? Q&A is in session, everybody. Right. Thank you for the information, Matt. I will look into it. Yeah, I will. How much do you charge for raking out / grinding out and then repointing with Pro Joint Titan per meter squared? Depending on the joint size, we are roughly between 20 to 25 pound per square meter. So for nice thin Indian sandstone joints, or for porcelain joints with like rapid flow or something, which we're going to be doing, we've got 3 jobs booked in for rapid flow. £20 per square meter, roughly. Not a difficult job at all. Literally run the grinder through the joint, because the grinder is virtually the same size as the joint, and then refill it with the brush in rapid flow. Compact it down. Away you go. Titan's a slightly different story, but generally £20 to £25 per square meter. If the joints are big, 25-ish. If we're relaying slabs, we're doing a lot more of the slurry mix. So we're mixing our SBR slurry and actually offering relaying slabs as a service now, included in the price. So we're doing like 3 to 5 slabs included in the price. Any more than that. So I took this from Jay, Exterior Essentials. I thought it was about time I learned. I had a bad experience doing it a while back, where I thought you had to dig out the whole sub base and make loads of, like a huge batch mix of like mortar, lay it on a full bed again, and it was just way overkill, way more than what it needed to be. And so now we lift the wobbly slabs. They're generally laid on a full bed anyway, or even if it's dot and dab, to be fair, we're just pouring on the slurry at the back of the slab, and then just squeezing it back into place. We're going quite thick with it. Squeeze it back into place. I haven't really got like a price per slab for relaying slabs just yet. I haven't really worked that out yet, but if anyone's got any pointers in the chat, I'd be grateful to hear them. Hope that helped, Percy. How do I stop going down drains and polluting the watercourse? Drains are rust limited. Drains are rust limited. Are you an exterior clean? Are you trying to gaslight me by asking that question? Or are you a drain expert and you're moving into pressure washing? Or are you trying to catch me out with that question? Because I'll be honest with you, I would suggest it's impossible to stop it going down drains and polluting the watercourse. I would suggest stopping dirty water from driveway cleaning and patio cleaning. Stopping that from going down drains is impossible. There are things you can do to limit the amount which ends up going down the drain, and that is washing in the opposite direction of the drain. So starting at the drain or at the lowest point of the driveway or patio and washing backwards up to the highest point, and that way you get all the The big chunky stuff, you can wash that up towards the middle of the drive, and that saves a lot of people, me included. When I first started out, I was washing down towards the drain because I just assumed, well, that's sort of where I want all the water to go, so that's the obvious choice. Whereas actually I don't think that's good practice anymore. I think start at the drain for two reasons. If you end up getting a flood, if that drain blocks and you end up getting a flood, at least you know that that lower section around the drain has been cleaned, and you're not having to clean through flooded water because you won't be able to see anything. So you won't know if it's actually clean or not. So once you've ended up removing the flood, you've still got to add more water to clean the surface that was underneath the flood. So start at the area that could potentially flood first. Hopefully it doesn't. You know, 85% of jobs don't. But for those 15% of jobs that do end up flooding, at least you've started at that lowest bit. You're working away from the drain, so none of that crap is going down into the drain. So you're not exacerbating any issues that might already be there. You can tell the customer, look, it started flooding as soon as we started putting water down. We haven't washed anything down into the drain. That's what we do now. So we wash away from the drain. We're bagging all the waste up and letting all the dirty water drain out of the waste bags because they're woven polypropylene, so the water drains through them. You just get left with a dry bag of dirt, which is handy. So yeah, two reasons. You can clean the flooded area first, and then also you're not washing dirt down into the drain, not washing sand, silt, moss, stones. It's not falling down into the drain, and you're not going to cause a blockage. There's nothing more embarrassing than causing a blockage. When it comes to runoff, so you're never going to prevent dirty water or your chemical from washing down into the drain. It's not going to happen. Any exterior cleaning business that says they do, I would suggest are lying. And if the government or whoever the governing bodies were to put some sort of restrictions on, there are already restrictions in place, but if they were to start enforcing those restrictions, it would cripple the entire industry. It would cripple the entire exterior cleaning industry because you just simply can't stop it from happening. The great thing about the chemicals and stuff that we use is they're actually eco-friendly, believe it or not. So even extremely strong sodium hypochlorite, after it's diluted and after it becomes dormant within about an hour of applying the product, it ends up just turning into salt. The solution to pollution is dilution. So the more you water these products down, the safer they become. Same with biocides. Hope that answers your question. Question: when are you going to add me on Discord? What do you mean add you on Discord? Why do you want me to add you, Mills? Let's have a look. I don't really respond to any of the friend requests on Discord because I don't really accept DMs on Discord. If people want to chat about most things, we can sort of chat in the Discord in the sort of open forum. If you've got questions and stuff, there's no reason to ask me questions via DM. If there's another reason why you've tried to add me as a friend, I can't even see, mate, to be honest. I can't even see you. I can't even see you. Mills, there you are. Have you tried to message me? Ah, you have tried to message me. Okay, I see. You asked for people to send you the members map. Okay, I see it now. I see it. I've just found your message. Sorry, mate. I thought you just wanted me to add you as a friend. Friends! I will add you. I will have a look at some point after the stream finishes. And I will add you onto the members map. Okay, we're on the right track. I'm at 25 per square meter. And does that price include materials? Yes. Do you have your new guy on the same pay setup as you had with Jakey, set hours per week, etc. Fun fact about the new guy. The new guy is no longer with us, unfortunately. He's not died. He just didn't get the job. But, and I'm also in two minds of whether we even look for someone, because me and Kieran these last couple of weeks, while we've been on our own, we've been absolutely smashing through the work. I've been really enjoying the days. We've both got a very similar work ethic. We're both on the same wavelength when it comes to the jobs. We're both thinking about very similar. We've got a very similar mindset when it comes to, should we just get these two done and then get lunch afterwards, or do you want to get this one done and then get lunch and then come back? Like, how do you want to play it? And he's like, I was thinking we just smash it out and then have lunch afterwards, whatever it might be. Or should we get that one done today so that we don't have to rush towards the end of the week to get that done? He's like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, it's always, we just seem to work really well together. And margins have been incredible these last couple of weeks. The work's been fun. And I just don't know if I want to step back and just have Kieran and someone else sort of crack on and do the work without me. I don't know. I think I quite enjoy being on the tools. All I need to crack is the response time and the quotes, because I can deal with the invoicing, and Soph's been helping me as well. It's just getting the response time. You know, in an ideal world, you get an inquiry come in and you respond within 30 seconds and organise to get out there and quote the job. In an ideal world. When you're on the tools all day and you've got 1,000,001 other things to be thinking about, the last thing you're thinking about is logging in to respond to a quote. And I don't know how I can do both. I don't know how I can be on the tools every day with Kieran and doing the admin side. I haven't figured that out yet. So I'm wondering if I hire someone to do the admin side. Instead of hiring a labourer, hire someone to respond. I don't really think I want to. I'm not ready to integrate AI just yet. I want a person, because I think a person could do more for me and for the business than an AI agent could. Even if it's just booking work in, booking quotes in, just like, oh, you're in WebEth next week. Can you pop out and see these two jobs? Like, yeah, sweet. Just put it in the calendar. Like, they've already rang the customer. They've already organised it. They put the entry in the calendar, and we go. And that's what I'm thinking. I could still do the pricing. I don't know. He's not died, but he might have if we didn't let him go. Finchy boy, welcome. It has been a while. Where have you been? Hope you're feeling better than last time we spoke. Keep it to you and Key. The more money for you and the business at the end of the day. That's the other thing about expansion. Does expansion... This has always been my question, because big businesses and stuff, from the outside they look very successful, they look great. When you get on the inside and start chatting to the people that are actually running them, they're very stressed out. Overheads are insane. It's so high risk. There's so much that can go wrong in such a short amount of time. The cost of wages, the cost of premises, the cost of software. There's so much. When you've got more staff, there's so much more you've got to do to just keep the lights on. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that sort of stress. Whereas if we just keep it me and Kieran, we can go at our own pace. We finished at 2 o'clock today. We were chilling. We were chilling all day today, and we made loads of money, and it was fine. Like, I just don't know why I'd mess with this when it's going good at the minute. It's been consistently, like, since me and Kieran got back on the tools together full time. Just me and him. It's been just like consistently really good. I don't know whether it's the weather or what. I don't know, but I don't know if I don't know if it would result in any more money in my pocket. If expanding would result in any more money in my pocket, I don't know. It could make the business more valuable. I think that's what it would do, but I don't know if it would end up more money for me. At the end of the day, I want to create a lifestyle business. I think this business is a tool for me to live the life that I want to live, and it's a facilitator. I want a nice house, I want nice cars, I want nice holidays, and this business is designed to help me do that. And if I feel like I'm tied to the business in any way, if I feel like I can't take next month off because I've got too much to do, I've got too many people relying on me, it stops becoming fun. You know what I mean? I'd rather it be fun and stay under that threshold of, you know, I'm earning enough to be financially comfortable, but I'm not stressed out. I'd rather toe that line, I think. I don't know. Has anyone else got any thoughts on that? Could you hire a virtual assistant to do admin cheap, like £500 per month, replying, booking quote visits, etc.? I could. I don't like the idea of a virtual assistant. I'd like someone to be here in person so they can understand the way we work. Even just coming out with us for a couple of days, they'd start to understand how we work, what we're looking for when we're walking around and doing quotes. So I want them to be with us to see the full process, so they've got a full understanding. I don't just want some stranger from a distance. I think it would create more issues than it would solve, personally. Possible, but I don't like the idea initially. Jake, any chance you could check the newbie questions in Discord? Just had a challenge of a clean tonight. Of course. Let's have a look. This is what the Discord is here for. Newbie questions from Luke. Evening, just got back from a clean and not happy with it. Full pressure wash, 2 chemical treatments, turbo after the clean. Still couldn't get it perfect. The customer's happy, but could I have done better? You've done a 36-1. I'm using H. Okay, so 36-1. First of all, what chemical treatment are you doing, Luke? Because presumably with 36-1 you're using biocide. Whatever you've put down is not going to be effective on the day. So sodium hypochlorite you want to be using at around about 1 to 5, not 1 to 36. Biocide you're going to be using at about 1 to 30 on ground surfaces, not 1 to 36. And biocide, to remove these black spots, you're probably looking at about 6 months for biocide. So you're not going to get results on the day doing that. Also, this is just purely feedback, and I think this is going to help you more than insult you, hopefully. This clean is not good enough. For my standard personally, I wouldn't be happy with this. So it's not the result of the chemical. You've left moss in between the joints up here. You haven't properly cleaned the border, because all these brown spots would have come off if you'd have properly cleaned that border. There's moss here. There are weeds still in between the joints. And there's more stuff down here. The joints haven't been properly... This should have been quite an easy clean, I would imagine. The joints are so tightly packed that... So you've got weeds there, you've got weeds here, and you've got weeds here. This looks like it was cleaned a while ago, like a week or 2 ago, and these weeds are fresh actually. Maybe you've not missed these weeds. You've definitely missed the moss. You've missed the moss and the border. Maybe you haven't missed these weeds. Maybe you've taken this picture a week after it's been cleaned, but you've not resanded it. Also, these white spots here, these would have come off with the pressure washer. The black spots wouldn't. The white spots usually would. So with sodium hypochlorite, this could have come up mint if you'd have done a strong enough sodium hypochlorite treatment. All of these black spots in the bevels would have disappeared, and it would have massively enhanced the look of the look of the driveway. So you could have got a much better result if you'd have done it a little bit differently. Let's see what he's saying. That was the before photo. That was the before. I don't understand. I'm not sure what you mean. That's the before photo. Where's the after? I don't know what you mean. Just starting out, should I invest in the Mosia? I would say, personally, if I was being totally honest, get yourself an established customer base first. Learn how to market yourself. You can't use the Mosia if you haven't got any customers to use it on. You know what I mean? The cost of the Mosia could potentially be used, that money could be used on generating customers. If you've got no customers, there's no point in buying a Mosia. That's my honest advice. I would say a Mosia is more for a business that's already generating reliable customer base, and they want to push their professionalism and push their accuracy and create some sort of template for their quotes. Mosia, we did a couple of quotes today with the Mosia, and it's so easy. It's like massive tarmac restoration job. Ended up being about 100 and, I think Kieran said 170 square meters for the tarmac restoration, and then a 70 square meter patio for a a concrete patio that needed repointing. And it's so simple because we go around with our Mosia, we've got our area, and we just multiply it by our price per square meter. So for the tarmac ceiling, it was like 170 square meters times 12, because that's what we're charging for the clean and the tarmac sealer. And we've got a price of just over £2,000. So I'd probably knock a bit off that and do like 1995. And that's tarmac sealer quote done. No messing about, no haggling. That's our price. And I can do the same for the patio repoint as well. My bad, just uploaded the after photo. No worries. No worries. Let's have a look. Much better. So we can see that most of those black spots are either gone or they're faded. The other spots that we're seeing is the aggregate that's coming through the block pavers. So it's a very weathered block paver, so they're very rough. The driveway has been quite well installed. You look at the joint width. I don't know if there's like a recommended joint width for block paving, but even these little inserts here that they've done, looks like it's been laid very tight, which makes cleaning very easy. You don't get as much sludge coming out of the joints, and I find that the moss and the weeds tend to break out much easier when you're running the turbo nozzle over them. That is better. I struggle to see how you've got a result using a ratio of 1 to 36. Diameter inch. You've used H, did you say? Oh no, that's not what that means. 36 to 1 for my research. No, that's not what that means. No. I don't know what the dilution chart is for this specific product, but you were probably closer than I first thought. Hope that answers your question, Luke. I'm sorry if it doesn't. Maybe just respond again below if you need any specifics. When a message comes in about quoting, do you ask for pictures and rough size of the drive or patio, or do you say you're going out to measure and then give them a price? Hector, I need a wee. Bear with me just a second and I'll answer that when I come back. I am getting through all your questions, so if I've not answered your question yet, it's just because I'm working through every single one slowly, so just bear with. Right. So, the ones that we want to do in person, the ones that are far out, we obviously can't visit all of them, and it wouldn't be viable, it wouldn't be worth it, because a lot of them just wouldn't go ahead with the work, and we would have spent like an hour driving out there, talking to the customer, and they end up just not going for the work, or just not responding to you, so it's just not, there's no point. We're trying to visit all of the jobs in our town now, in person, and we're going to measure up using the Moja. If it's a good to clearing job, then I don't need to visit in person. I can send that remotely. It's such low ticket, it's such low effort that it's like, I don't really care if we win or lose. We win most of them, but it's not enough for me to want to, like, you don't need to go out and visit gutter clearing jobs unless you're just starting out and you definitely want to win the work. Pressure washing jobs, so they can come through my online form. So this is what all of my customers do. I get a message on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, and I send them a link. So what they actually get is, let me see if I've got an example. How can I show you this without showing you the customer's address? Okay, I'll just show you this instead. Right. So this is what they get. When they come through any of those platforms, I send them this message in return. So thanks for your message. To receive a quote, fill in this quick form. We'll respond, but please be patient. We're very busy. We don't provide quotes via DM. We need your full address and postcode or we won't respond. We might be able to recommend someone local to you if we're too far, whatever it might be. You could upload photos to this form. This helps us provide a fast remote quote if that's what you want from us. We're based in Redditch. We travel nationwide. Travel is reflected in the price. I'm just trying to be upfront and honest as soon as possible to make sure that these people actually qualify. Because if they're filling out this form and they think that I'm going to drive to Liverpool without charging any travel, and it's going to be the same price as it would be if it was in my local town, then I just want to set the expectation early on that they'll be charged travel. My availability at the moment is approximately 2 months. Now it's come down a little bit now, it's about a month and a half now. But again, I'm pre-qualifying them. If they can't wait 2 months for my service, then they don't need to fill in the form. That's no problem, they're not a customer for me. If they're happy to wait, I'm happy to serve them, but if not, they'll have to find someone else to do it, and that's fine. That's just how business works. I don't want to go through a back and forth with every single customer who gets in touch to see whether I'm close enough to want to do the work. I don't want to get down the whole quoting process, give them a price, and then say when can you do it, and I say, oh sorry, we haven't got availability for another 2 months, and they say, oh we were hoping you could do it this week. It's like, let's just pre-qualify them from the get-go, set the expectations, and make sure that we're all on the same page before we go any further. And then there's a list of services that I offer so that they can, when they're filling out the form, they might think, oh, he does roof cleaning, I didn't know he did that. Let's get a quote for that as well. So this last little list of services here could increase the potential customer, the customer spend. It could increase it quite considerably if they notice one of these services just before they ask for a quote. So they get this. This takes them to a form, an online Google form. It's a contact form, and these are free to make, so you can go make your own right now if you want to with a Google account. So it's a Google form, and it's going to ask for their address, their postcode, their name, and these are all you must answer these questions. It's got the asterisk next to them, else it won't let you submit the form. This prevents all of the back and forth for me. When someone gets in touch, I don't need to speak to them. I literally don't speak to them until I've got all the information I need to be able to provide them a quote. There's no back and forth. There's no what's your availability. There's no what's your address. There's no have you got any pictures. It's all here ready for me to, I've got all the information I need to give a quote. So phone number, email address, and then they tell me how we can help. I'm going to change this up slightly, I think, because I might do some tick boxes based on these services that I'm offering. So they can just tick, okay, I want my roof cleaning, I want my tarmac cleaned, I want my tarmac sealed. Like, because people don't know I offer tarmac sealing, for example. They don't know I offer repointing on the patio. So if I give them the opportunity to tick that here, that might increase my my customer value. And then also they can upload up to 10 photos. So this encourages those people that are a little bit further out to send me some photos, and this works really well. So this is linked to a Google Drive. I'm going to show you this Google Drive because I think it's useful for you to see. So they upload the photos here, and then those photos end up here. So these are all photos from potential customers, which is so useful for you to look at the job before you get into the conversation with the customer of whether you want to quote it or not. Because sometimes they don't know what sort of stone they've got, so you can impress the customers by saying like, oh, I've noticed you've got like a black limestone patio. We've got a very specific process for this sort of patio, and already before they've even had a conversation with you, you've already sort of impressed them with the knowledge, which is good to do. This also is another way of pre-qualifying our customers, because if it's a job that we don't want, if we can see that the access is poor because we can't get through to the back garden without going through the house, for example, and it's a small job, I might just not want the job at all. And so I'll get in touch with the customer and say, look, sorry, this isn't a job for us for multiple reasons, but I can pass you on to someone local that might be able to help you. So that's a really good tool. And I'm saying all this from a position of we're busy at the minute, and we've got quite a good social media presence. People get in touch from YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all sorts. And so this is a tool that works for me. If you're new to the industry and you haven't really developed a customer base yet, you might find that this doesn't quite work for you. Because maybe this is too advanced for the position you're in right now, or maybe this is something that you could use. Maybe it's perfect. Maybe this complicates your workflow. It's not for everyone. I found that this is the thing that works for me. So they upload the pictures. They tell me how we should contact them. I'm thinking of removing this or changing the word into how would you prefer to be contacted? Because I like dealing through WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp's really useful for pictures, videos, links, text. I think WhatsApp's good. Email feels slower. It feels a little bit more clunky. Phone call, I don't like dealing over the phone really, because I like to have everything. I like there to be a paper trail. If I've had a conversation with a customer and organised something and then forgot, or Kieran then picks up that job and there's no record of me having a conversation, he might say something totally different to the customer, and there's a bit of inconsistency there. So I prefer dealing with WhatsApp. All the messages are saved, everything's backed up. It works for me. And then where did you find us? So this helps me figure out where the majority of our customers find us, and I can actually find you a pie chart in our inquiry form. So all these inquiries, GDPR, I'm not going to give you the full view of it, so you can't read this, but this, I hope you can't read this anyway. This is our customer inquiry list. So I've got a few to deal with at the bottom here. I don't want to zoom in too far because then you'll be able to see the customer's details and that won't be good. So I've got a little drop down menu that changes the status of these. So orange is like I've sent the quote and I'm pending a response. I just haven't been keeping up to date with all these. A lot of these have been booked. I've just not really been keeping up to date. Red is no response. Purple is we need to do a survey, like a site visit. Black is an unwanted lead, so something that I don't want to do or it's too far. So there's quite a lot of black ones. These are leads that they just don't get. I'll contact the customer to say, sorry, we can't do the work for you. And this is where the members map comes in. This is where it's useful, where I can just pass work on to other people because it's too far for me. It wouldn't be viable for me to go out and do a 50 square meter block paved driveway in Leeds. But if I had someone in Leeds, I could just pass it on to them. Or the customer can look at this map directly and do that themselves. So the inquiry form, we also have a pie chart. Oh, I haven't got the one about where people get in touch, but this needs updating. This isn't... Why is it so blurred? I don't know why it's so blurred. I should find out how people get in touch and get a pie chart for that. I don't know why this is being weird. Oh, there we go. Quotes rejected. So there's quotes that I've rejected myself. No, sorry. Quotes the customer's rejected. Quotes we don't get a response from. I very rarely chase my customers for responses. I'll send the quote and then I'm totally hands off. I just leave them alone. And if they don't come back to me, that's fine. Because we're so busy at the minute, it's like I'm not chasing up those old quotes. Whereas we could probably double our revenue right now if we chase these people that don't get back to us. There's so many. Because people are busy. People forget. It's often not that they don't like your price. It's that they were too busy to respond and then they forgot. %20 of my leads at the minute are unwanted leads. So that shows how much work it could potentially go toward the members map. Survey required. So a lot of this needs updating. A lot of this just isn't accurate. So like looking at only 27% of these that are booked, it will be more like these pending responses just need to be checked off as booked. Most of them. Awaiting info, they need to be updated and just gone. Yeah, one of them. Much better now, thank you Jay. Pushing the business, mate. Hope you've been doing well. Also, I think you should keep at it, just you and Kieran. Interesting, thank you. More staff equals more issues, more kit damage, etc. More stress. Yep, agreed. Agreed. I'm just not sure which direction I want to go with it. Are you familiar with Gator XP G2 polymeric sand? No. That was the before photo, just not now. Should I invest in Moja? When it comes to using the X-Jet for chemicals, I've heard to have it at full revs, but to try and get it as close to the dilution ratio as possible. But as you said earlier, it feels way too powerful. Yeah, I've never used the X-Jet at full revs. It's just too unwieldy, especially not for putting chemicals down. Maybe for rinsing something. How do you find the elderly handle the Google form? Quite often, you can tell that they're an elderly person when they ring you. So you guys would be proud of me. I've actually started answering the phone again. I went through a month or two of not answering the phone because I just couldn't keep up. I couldn't face the idea of more customers. And I know that sounds ridiculous and it's a very privileged position to be in. I just couldn't do it anymore. Being on the tools and having to respond to my current customers and keep up to date with the day-to-day stuff, the orders and everything. I couldn't face taking any more work on. And so I was ignoring all of my phone calls, all of them, just letting them ring out. That is no way to run a business. There's something seriously wrong if you get to that point. So I've started answering the phone again now. You can quite often tell on the phone whether they're like an elderly person or not. And if they are an elderly person, I don't present the Google form because I don't want to create a barrier. I don't think it's fair to try and require them to like get help from their daughter to fill out my form and stuff. I've had it in the past where they've called me 2 days later and said, "Oh, I've been trying to do this form for the last 2 or 3 hours. My daughter's tried to help me and doesn't seem to be working. I can't get my head around it." I'm like, "Oh my God, I've caused you so much stress. I'm not doing that anymore." So if they sound like an elderly person on the phone, I will just organise it with them over the phone. My issue with that is my lack of organisational skills. I don't want to forget people. I don't want people to go to the wayside in the DMs. I don't want phone calls to be forgotten about and then me say that I'm going to come on Wednesday and I forget to put it in the calendar and then I don't turn up. I don't want that to happen. It doesn't happen very often. We very rarely forget about customers, or forget about jobs, or forget about quotes or visits or whatever it might be. Very, very rarely happens. But when it does, it's such a heart-sinking moment because you know that customer's been waiting in for you all morning and you've not turned up and you're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm so sorry." So phone calls, that's always been my issue with phone calls. When it's on a text or a message or an email, at least there's a paper trail. And if I forget at the time, I can always revisit it and figure it out later on. Far too powerful to be applying chemicals to me. I have the Alpha PB so I can play with the revs. And the unloader needle. What's your suggestion for easy but precise application? You can still do fairly precise application with the X-Jet. You just turn the revs down to half and turn the needle valve down so you're not at full pressure. Just find something you're comfortable with. It'll still pull the chemical in at a similar dilution ratio because it's a Venturi, so it's proportional. So it doesn't really matter the rate in which it's coming through. In theory, there is a balancing point. Hector says, "I'm on Checkatrade. When I accept a job, what message should I send to them? I'm not sure I can afford sending them a Google form as of yet, as I just want to get the work." Okay. I've never worked with Checkatrade. I've not had good feedback from other people that have worked with Checkatrade. So apparently it's not great. Apparently the cost compared to the quality of leads that you get is terrible. It might work for some people. I think Ryan from Curbside Cleaning had a good experience with Checkatrade, but about 4 other people I spoke to have had a terrible experience with it. So, what message should I send them? I'm not familiar with the information that you get from the customer through Checkatrade. So, is it some sort of contact form that they fill out beforehand, or do you see a job advert saying "I need my driveway cleaned," and then you accept the job and enter a conversation with them with little to no context? I'm guessing it's that. I'm guessing you get into a message conversation with them. You probably haven't got their name, address, phone number, anything like that. So that's something that you need to get, I suppose. Presumably they're local. So you could say, you might get their name. You could say, "Hi, Helen. Just noticed the advert for the driveway. I'm available tomorrow to pop out and see the job. Is that convenient for you?" The issue with Checkatrade is you're a commoditized service, so anyone can do this job, and there's lots of other people in your area doing the same job, and you're competing on price generally. On a service like Checkatrade, people aren't necessarily going with the person that's delivering the highest quality service. They're probably looking for 2 things: someone with decent reviews and someone who's the cheapest. I generally don't like to, I'm not competing on price ever. My customers look at my reviews and they look at my before and after pictures and the proof that I can get the job done. And so price doesn't even come into the equation generally, which is a fortunate position to be in, but that's the position that I've worked my way up to. It's not something that happened overnight. And so when you're on Checkatrade in a pool of other potential people that are competing for the same job, I think you're already potentially at a disadvantage because you're a new business. You've probably got little to no reviews. It's a tough sell. Unless you can get on those jobs quickly and put your best foot forward to the customer and get out there quickly in front of them, it's difficult because they're going to be having people messaging them, accepting that job. They'll send them a message saying, I can do it for 120 quid. She'll probably have 10 other messages saying, I can do it for 120, I can do it for 150, I can do it for 200 quid. If you're there saying, hi, are you available tomorrow for me to pop out and have a look at the driveway? It's like, it's going to take too long. I'll just go with this one that says 150. They've got good reviews, they're fine. And they win the job and you get left. You've probably paid for that lead and lost it because someone else has just sent a price over. If that's the way you want to do business, and you can get good at quickly doing remote quotes based on pictures, you accept the job. It only says they want the driveway cleaned and sanded. It says the name and the postcode, but not the address. It doesn't say what size it is. I can pop the message I send them on Discord and you can give me an opinion on what I should change. Yes, do that. Don't do it in a message, just do it in the Discord somewhere, in either general chat or quoting and pricing help. Because I won't see your DM. We like to talk as like an open forum on the Discord. We don't generally talk behind the DMs because then no one learns. If everyone's DMing me their questions, no one gets to benefit from that person asking questions. Like if we figure something out now in the DMs, no one else has seen it. So someone else might be having the exact same issue as you are, but at least we get to work through it. And you might also get input from other people in the Discord as well if you post it publicly. So you say to them, good morning, I hope you're well. Do you happen to know roughly how big the driveway and patio is? If you could give me approximate size, I can send over an estimate quote. Alternatively, I can come out tonight and measure it myself. If I provide a quote based on your estimate, I'll still take accurate measurements when I arrive, confirm it, everything. Yeah, this would work well for a DM or an organic quote that comes through. So someone's seen you on Facebook, they've seen your leaflet, they've noticed your website and they've got in touch with you. This is a perfectly reasonable response. I think that's fine. On Checkatrade, I think you would struggle to set yourself apart from the rest. Is she getting other messages? You know, if you've paid for this lead, because now you're in a conversation with them, presumably you've paid for that lead now. Can someone else steal that lead off you? Are other people paying for the same lead? And then it becomes whoever's the quickest, whoever is the cheapest. Do you know? I'm curious to know whether someone else can snatch that lead off you. Because that changes the game. That changes how I'd word the message. I'd try and do something a lot shorter, a lot snappier. You get a certain amount of leads for free. I'm not sure how many people get it, but you can buy leads for credit. I think it'd be silly for Checkatrade to sell one lead to one person, because if that tradesman either doesn't respond or price is too high, then that customer only gets to pick from that one pool of customer. Whereas if they sell that lead to multiple customers, they get to pick from multiple quotes. Has a pressure washer with a noise suppression lid been made yet? If not, why not? What is a noise suppression lid? I don't even know what that is. Water pump noise suppression. I don't know. I don't even know what that is. Interesting. Not sure, mate. I only just finished my members form. Forgot to do it when you sent it 2 weeks ago. No worries. That's okay. No rush. Anyone know of any software that takes bookings and automatically populates the new customer's details in Squeegee and auto schedules? Oof. I think you're looking for something like Go High Level, potentially. Elliot, I can't see a previous message. And my Google page, if you fancy it. No doubt you'll rip me a new one. Elliot, I can't see the context to that message. I can only see and my Google page. Did you ask something before that? Can my messages be seen? I've commented on a few YouTube channels and can't tell if I'm visible or not. Stephen? Yes. Electric is the way if noise is an issue. Yeah, I think electric pressure washers are going to be massive in 10 years' time. We like our petrol at the minute, but I reckon everything will go electric. We'll have electric vans, electric pressure washers with steam built in, solar panels on the roof, battery chargers for our leaf blowers. Everything will be electric. Should I reword it telling them exactly what I charge per meter squared, what's included, and asking them if they would be happy to go ahead? I think it's too convoluted. These people potentially want a quick response with as little friction as possible. So I think they're not going to want to go out and measure their driveway. So I think remove that altogether. They won't. If they do give you an estimate of how big the driveway is, it'll be wrong. So it's pointless. You're inconveniencing the customer by asking them to go out and measure it. It's unlikely they know the size of the driveway anyway. I think that bit is pointless. So either you need to figure out a quick and dirty way of quoting jobs quickly, remotely, or see if you can convince the customer. You should try it. You should trial it for the next couple of weeks. These quotes that you get in, shorten the message and say, "Hi Helen, I'm free tonight if you want me to pop, or I'm free this afternoon if you want me to pop over and give you a quote for the driveway." Don't mention things like measuring up or anything like that. Just, I'd like to pop over to give you a quote. Failing that, feel free to send me some pictures and I can give you an estimate. I think that's probably the best way to do it. No approximating the size. I think go straight in there with, I'm available this afternoon. If you are, I'm available this afternoon to come and give you a quote for the driveway. So that will, you'll go there, you'll measure up, you'll do your method, you'll have a look around, test the water pressure, check the access to the drainage situation, and you come up with a price on the spot. So you'll have to get good at pricing quickly. If that means you're going to measure the driveway and apply your pricing structure, that's fine. Give them the price there and then, so there's no opportunity for her to go and accept a different quote. Go straight in with, can I visit? Failing that, feel free to send me some photos. If that's not convenient, feel free to send me some photos and I'll send you a price remotely. I think that's the shortest, quickest, snappiest way of keeping the customer's attention and avoiding having them going somewhere else. Personally. I'm going to type it out for you just so you've got it. Thanks for getting in touch. Would it be convenient for me to pop out this afternoon? Failing that, you could send over some photos of the full cleaning area. Let's do photos or videos, because some people prefer, you might get more from a video than you do from rubbish photos. You can send over some photos, videos of the full cleaning area so that I can give you a price remotely. Is that how you spell remotely? No. What's your name? Hector. I'd go with that. What's the Discord, mate? Is there a link? There is a link. If you go to the YouTube channel, there might be a join button underneath the live stream, or click on the description of any of the videos or the main channel, and you can click join here, and that'll give you access to the Discord. This is where I spend most of my time, so I'm not helping people via like DM and stuff. People message me on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and generally I don't respond. So all of my energy with trying to help people is spent on this live stream every Monday night and in the Discord chat every day. Every day we're in here trying to help people, just having a general chat. Mitch is just, actually I'm not going to play it because it's got music behind it. How do you test water pressure? We've got a little flow meter. So you literally Amazon flow meter. You can just grab one of these, plug it into the customer's tap, turn it on, and it'll tell you the water pressure or the flow rate, liters per minute. I wonder if the water irrigation website still has those mega cheap ones. Sometimes they do a sale and they've got ridiculous clearance stuff on here. So cheap. Flow meter. I think I got like 10 from this website before because they were like £1 each or something ridiculous. No, they're not on here. Solenoid valve. Interesting. Hector, no worries, mate. I hope that does help. I think the key with not that I've ever used Checker Trade. Not that I've ever used Checker Trade, but I think the key would be to get there quickly and have as little friction for the customer as possible. So my method of having contact forms and them having to attach photos and stuff, it just wouldn't work. It's too slow. They've got too many other options, and I just don't think it'd work. So I think you want to get on it as quick as possible. Failing that, just send them a quick and dirty quote, and just you'll learn by quoting wrong. As weird as that sounds, you'll do a quote and you'll think, God, I should have been like at least 100 quid more on this job. But you'll know for next time. You'll know that, okay, I can't see everything from this picture, but I want to send the quote over quickly, so I'm going to put an extra 50 quid on. Hope everything goes to plan and hope that I've accounted for everything. Sometimes just pricing slightly higher if you're a little bit unsure is the safer bet. Last thing you want to do is price low just to win the job, and then you realise the water pressure's crap, the drainage is crap, the access is rubbish, and you end up spending an extra 2 hours on the job that you hadn't accounted for. It's just not worth it. So yeah, it's one of them. What have I missed? What have we been talking about? We've been talking about upselling different services, predominantly block paving today. I want to dive into some of the other ones a little bit later on. So what I'd like to do for my website is to have a specific page. So we've got the members map as well, which I don't know if you've seen the Discord members map, but this is now live on my website. So my customers can now get in touch with other contractors around the UK. So instead of trying to get me out for a quote in Glasgow, they can just go straight to CRB Clean. And this website gets a lot of traffic as well. So it's a very, I think it's very worthwhile. Anyway, what I'd like to have is on this services tab, you go down to pressure washing, and then it expands into block paving, tarmac, resin, natural stone. And what I'd like to do is have like a breakdown, like a bronze, silver, gold tier for a lot of my price points for different services. So block paving, you'll have the standard service, clean, chemically treat, resand. Silver is hard setting jointing sand. Gold is like sealing, for example. I want that for like each service, because people don't know what I do. Someone that gets in touch for gutter clearing might not know that I do roof cleaning or pressure washing or tarmac restorations or patio repointing. So I want to make sure anyone that hits the website has like a full, there's so much stuff that I'm not advertising that I would like to push because I enjoy doing the work. So lots of missed opportunities, and I want to make some sort of pipeline for people to follow where, okay, I've got a tarmac drive, I think it needs pressure washing, okay, let's get it pressure washed. Oh, there's some big cracks and repairs that need doing. Oh, he does that as well. And we can get it sealed as well. And then we can get the monthly, the 6 monthly biocide maintenance treatment. So it's like they go down in tiers, or they go up in tiers based on the service they want. And it's all there available. I don't have to sell it to them. The proof is there. You know, it's like, they wouldn't know that I offer a 6 monthly biocide treatment unless I was in front of them telling them about it. So lots of missed opportunities, I think, that we've been missing for a long time, that I'd like to get sorted on the website. But now we're just doing Q&A time. If anyone's got any other questions before I shoot off, feel free. This is your opportunity now. What I like to do every Monday night is try and give back a little bit. I know there's like questions throughout the week that they bug people. You don't necessarily want to put it in a Facebook, on a Facebook page to get loads of feedback from other people. Stuff that might have been bugging you and you're not sure how to do it. I think this is a good opportunity to get some like live commentary on some of your questions. I can't answer all your questions, but I think I'm quite well equipped to answer most of them. Will you finish the surface guide video you and Matt started the other month? Surface guide video? What do you mean by that? My website was made by Wix. I didn't make it. Someone else in the community made it for us, but I now edit it myself. So I managed to put in this this map myself the other day with a bit of code, and I thought that was very clever of me. It's SEO'd out of its mind. Not exactly how I want it to look at the minute, because there's so much more that I need to add, but it's okay for now. It's okay for now. It does the job. Did you see my message, bud? Elliot, am I missing messages? Elliot, I didn't see it, mate. And Tidy Jet Wash, I haven't seen your... It's not a joke about the logo, just curious if you prefer this new one. I haven't seen your previous message. I've seen I'm late to the party, gonna have to watch it all back, what have I missed, what we've been talking about. I saw those 3 messages. I've not seen any others from you. Am I missing some of the chat? Creating the Surface guide where you created the Excel spreadsheet together. No, I haven't finished that. I don't intend to finish that, no, because I've got a slightly different way that I'm going to handle Surface guides. I'm just very busy at the moment. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do like a million things at once, and it's very difficult. I've got the best intentions. I'm really. I've got so many ideas and plans for this community. I really want to try and flesh it out and make it everything I know it could be. Trying to find the time to do it is just ridiculous. Tintins, thank you so much for watching, mate. I appreciate you. Hold on, I'll copy paste it. No worries. Got my first resin driveway on Wednesday. Been in the business for a year now. It's my first resin. Any pointers? It's about 6 years old. Yes. Flat surface cleaner, if you've got one. Keep it under 150 bar. 25-degree nozzles on your flat surface cleaner, which it probably came with anyway. Circular motion. And then a good rinse. Finish it off with some biocide. If you're dabbling in the chemicals yet. I know some people aren't when they're first starting out, and the last thing I want to do is recommend biocide to you without you knowing exactly what it is, what the repercussions are, if it goes wrong, lack of PPE, all that sort of stuff. So I say biocide because that's my process. Whether you're ready for that or not is up to you to decide. You need to do some research if you don't know what's involved already. Here's one we did recently. That's the wrong post. Oh no, it's not. So you can see we're going in circular patterns so that we're not leaving tram lines with the flat surface cleaner. Resin is generally very porous, so you'll be quite surprised to see that there's no actual water on the surface when you're cleaning it. Generally, you'll be cleaning it, and the water's just disappearing. It looks like you're cleaning it dry. So we go in circular pattern so we're not leaving tram lines, and then we'll rinse it all in one direction, like this. So I'm using the black soap nozzle here because it's high flow, fairly low pressure. Rinsing it all down into one direction. We're collecting all the waste, all the moss at the bottom of the drive. We're getting rid of that, and then we're washing any little sediment down into the drain. And then we're finishing off with, I haven't got any pictures, but we're finishing off with a biocide treatment just to help prevent any of that moss afterwards. That's my process. You could do it without the biocide treatment if you're not ready for that just yet. I asked if you could give me any pointers on my Facebook and Google pages. If not, don't worry, I reckon you would just rip me a new one. I can, if you'd like me to. If you're in the Discord, which I think you are, post it in my content. There's a page in the Discord called your content. You can just post a link here and I will have a look. If you're happy for me to do that on stream, I'll do it now. Not that I'm the authority on Google pages or Facebook pages, but I can generally spot some stuff that might help. I've got a new logo ready for my next phase. Remember, you didn't like the current logo. Just curious if you like the new one. I've sent it to you on WhatsApp. Let's have a look. You want me to open this on stream? I feel like we got off on the wrong foot. Tidy jet washing. I feel like that was our first interaction, was me saying how much I hated your logo. I'm surprised you kept tuning in afterwards. I thought maybe I was a bit harsh. and we had a bit of back and forth. We both got a little bit defensive, and I'm surprised you're still coming back and watching the live streams, because I thought maybe I didn't make the best impression with that guy that I've never met. You know what I mean? So sorry about that, but I'm glad you're here. Let's have a look. Ooh. Now, so the old logo, he's got the old logo in the chat. So the little circle next to his name, tidy jet washing, bright green brick wall with some kind of very basic text on the front. We've got something that is, I think, a massive improvement. What do I think of this? Ow! Just ripped my headphones out of my ear. What do I think? I think on a black background it could look good. I don't like it on a white background. I like the text. I like the disc idea. I'm not so keen on the colour personally, but that's just personal preference. I think the text could be made bigger so that it's slightly hanging over the border. Let me see what Gemini can do with this. Bear with. Let me see if Gemini can make some changes for me. Can you improve this logo? I'd like the text to be slightly bigger to the point where it overlaps the boundary of the background. I'd like the transparent background to be changed to black. I'd like the green to be I think if you go for a slightly different green, it can be less garish, less high vis, and more grounds maintenance. I'd like the green to be a little less vibrant and more posh and more professional. Any logo without the generic house and lance is a winner. That's true. Ooh, I prefer the green. I don't like what it's done to your text. I prefer your old text, I think. I like that it's slightly popping out. That's what I meant by the overlapping, but it's done it a little bit too much. I think the green, you know, that logo on a white van, why has it changed the background to white instead of black? See, that logo on a white van looks a little bit more professional, I think. Jurassic Park vibes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's definitely an improvement. Definitely an improvement. It's difficult with exterior cleaning logos because you type in exterior cleaning logo, you'll get the house with the chimney and the window, or you'll get water. Instantly, look. House, roof, chimney, window, water, house, roof, window, house, roof, water, bubbles. This guy stood on the roof, pressure washing it from a ladder. That's cool. House, roof, windows. House, roof, windows. House, roof, windows. House, roof, windows, and water droplet. You know what I mean? There's not much. See, that one's nice. I really like that. I like that a lot. Very professional looking. Very professional. Logos are difficult, man. You could make yours look a little bit more like this, Tidy Jet Wash. You could. I like this one. The vibes of it, anyway. That's terrible. That's terrible. Someone's done that in paint. See, this is the direction everyone goes. They do a stupid generic house roof and then stick some bubbles or water droplets behind it, and it's just not. It's no different. It's not different. I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't know what you can do with this format that would make it stand apart from everyone else. I don't think it's professional. I will say that. Not that mine is either. So this isn't coming from a place of my logo's better. It's not. I understand. I don't think it looks professional. I think it looks like something you'd see at a kid's birthday party, like a sticker that you'd see at a kid's birthday party, like Wacky Warehouse goodie bag. If I'm totally honest, I'm not so keen. I think you could go more professional. But if you don't want to blend in, I absolutely despise generic logos. You can tell they're made by AI. I agree with you. Fully agree with you. What do you think of something like this? I think for your style, this kind of logo could look pretty cool. Wacky Warehouse is my jam. I don't know. I even quite like that. I think that's professional. That's nice. Depends what your ideal customer base is. That could be pretty cool for you. Like, have you seen Nord Carpet Chemicals? Their stuff's pretty different, but it works. There's no one else in the industry that does it like them. Their branding. There's no one else, and it works. Look at the branding. It's different, and I think that's not particularly professional, I wouldn't say, but you can tell from a mile away that it's them. So you could lean into something like that. You know what I mean? Happy and full of colour and love. There you go. I'm tie-dyeing t-shirts in bright colours. I mean, that's fair. That is you. That you should not sacrifice expressing yourself through your business just to fit in with everyone else or look more professional or whatever. I fully agree. I think you should definitely lean into more you. I just don't think this is doing you any favors personally. I think that you could do so much more with it. I wish we had. You know what? I've been trying to get a logo designer in the Discord for so long. I've had 3 so far that I've said, look, there's almost 400 people who are paying to be in the Discord. They've all got, most of them have got new businesses. A lot of them are going to be needing logos or needing their current logos redesigned. It's a great place to generate work, and all I need you to do is come into the Discord. You'll have your own section where people can send messages and get inspiration and stuff. All I need you to do is post your work once a week and just be active. And after a week, all 3 of them on separate occasions have just gone totally silent. One of them ended up doing some deals through DMs and stuff. They were getting a few bits of work through DMs, but no one knew they existed because they weren't posting their stuff in the Discord. If I did a job for someone in the Discord and said, look, here's a logo I've just created for this person, I'd post it in the Discord. Say, look at this logo we've just created for Anthony. Like, it's such an easy way of generating some work from our community. And of course, like, you'd expect, ideally, you're in the Discord, so Discord members get a cheaper logo, naturally. Or they do a bit of website design, they get a cheaper website. Or they do some van sign writing, they get cheaper design for their van sign writing because they're part of the Discord. And in exchange for that, instead of getting 2 leads a month from whatever else you're doing, you're getting like 10, 15 leads a month. Trying to give people work, and they're just like fumbling the bag. Right, where is Elliot? Posted in the Discord on your content. Right. Elliot. Let's have a look. Elliot's Exterior Cleaning Services in Plymouth or Dartmoor National Park. We've got some before and after pictures. That's a nice transformation. Plenty of before and afters, which is nice to see. You can tell you've got the professional kit, you've got your surface cleaner, you've got your gutter vac. Quite like your logo, to be honest. It's different, definitely different. There's not really much you can say about a Google page because it sort of is what it is. You have your details, so you've got your phone number. I would suggest changing these opening hours to 24/7 personally if I were you, because if people are looking for you at 9 o'clock at night, Google might be less likely to recommend your service over someone that's got 24 hours ticked, because they're going to recommend the most relevant one. If you're closed, if it says your business is closed, you're not going to reach those people that are looking at 9 o'clock at night, for example. So it doesn't matter when you respond to the customer. If a customer messages you at 9 o'clock at night and you don't respond, they will understand. They'll wait till the next morning. But you're limiting yourself by not being 24 hours here, I would suggest. Mobile phone number's good. You haven't got a website yet, that's fine, I think. Have you got a website? That goes to your Facebook page. That's good, that's fine. I like your splash image. I think that's good. So something that Russell, the chap who created my website, explained to me with this splash image at the top of the Facebook page. It's really useful. It's a really useful page. It's real estate on your page where you can be advertising your website and your phone numbers. So it's free space. So you might as well alter this image slightly. Maybe ask AI, because of the perspective and stuff, maybe ask AI to alter this image to include your phone number and your website. You might as well. I know it's here. I know you've got it here, but you might as well have it up here as well. Reviews, great. I don't know how long you've been going, but you've got like 15 on Google, 19 on Facebook, which is great. You're responding to your reviews, that's good. So when a customer clicks on your page, they can see the areas that you cover. They can see you've got good reviews, they've got your phone number and your email address. Perfect. We've got some before and afters. That's a nice one. Nice and simple. I can't tell if you're tagging your location or not. It doesn't look like you are. I don't know how it normally appears. I would have expected there to be a location tag up here on your Facebook posts. So what I suggest, when you create a new Facebook post, when I create one here, you create the post and then you can tag your location, and that really helps to push it towards local traffic. So definitely worth doing. Anytime that you do a job in and around your town, tag that specific location, and also maybe consider sharing that post that you've done in that specific town or village. Maybe share it onto that community Facebook page. So go in and join all the local community Facebook pages where you intend on doing work. And when you get like, for example, we do a lot of work in Ashford Bank and Webb Heath, and if I was chasing more work, I would be doing a job in Ashford Bank or Webb Heath, tagging the location, saying, here's a job we did today in Webb Heath, and then sharing that to the Webb Heath community forum on Facebook. And that can help to get more local. And then the customer will comment on it and say, oh, Jake was brilliant today, thoroughly recommend. And it's just like, you do that every time you post, and it's just massively increasing your reach. Window cleaner, regular and reliable, gutter clearing services, pressure washing services. There's not much I can say about this, mate. I think you're doing everything. You're June 18th, June 19th, June 24th. You're posting regularly, which is good. You've got a mixture of video content and photos, which is good. I'd potentially be a little bit more selective about the before and after pictures you're posting. Like, people might look at this one, for example. Like, I know the realities of cleaning faces and soffits is that some of these black marks and stuff are very stubborn and very difficult to get off. I personally don't think that one's good enough to post. So you might get customers looking at these pictures and thinking, oh, my window cleaner might be able to do a better job than that of bringing them up. And like this block paving, for example, there's still black spots on the block paving. So I'd either work on your technique or start looking at which chemicals are actually gonna. I mean, the before and after picture itself, the perspective of it, the angle of it and stuff is perfect, but it's just the result. It's just picky customers that are going to zoom in. There's standing water over there and stuff. It's not perfect, and I'd consider just this one's brilliant. This one's fine. I'm just being super picky here. That one's good. That's good. Again, like you're showing a before and after here, but it's still dirty on that one side. So that's something I wouldn't even generally consider posting personally, just because it's not massively impressive. Ooh. That's a good post, bit of an educational one, bit of an insight into the industry. I like that one. Yeah, there's not a lot of change, mate. Like this, for example, that's not impressive to me. That doesn't look like a good before and after. No offense to you, just sometimes it's how the surface cleans up. Like the surface looks relatively clean. Probably could have done with a bit of a chemical treatment to get rid of some of this brown sort of, some of these brown marks and stuff, but it's just not something I would have posted personally. I don't think it's quite... Oh, what are these? But that said, I have the luxury of having like thousands of images to sort through to post something that this is better. Great before and after picture. You've got your brush in there. You've got the angle is pretty much exactly the same, and the result's great. That's great. I'd keep posting stuff like that. I quite like the single before and after pictures as well, like one before, one after, as a dedicated post. I should do more of that. I always wait till I've got like a full job's worth of stuff. Like when I post before and after pictures, like I'm posting 6 of the same job. Before, after, before, after, before, after. So I'm just very like picky when it comes to the pictures, that's all, because I know what looks impressive. Same angle, wet surface, so all the colours are popping. No residue from bubbles, chemicals, or anything like that. And actually a good, solid, clean result. Let me see if I can find just an example of one of ours. I haven't been posting much lately. Ow! This one's a little bit different because I was doing a block paving shimmy. But like that, for example, before, after, like that is a very clear transformation took from the same angle. Can't apply that to the rest of the images because I'm breaking my own rules here, but so before, after from exactly the same angle, and the differences are actually like impressive. Like the surfaces are fully clean, they're complete, doesn't need any more work. That's just my 2 cents. It's really hard, I think, as a window cleaner. You can't do before and afters on windows, so you're quite limited to what you can do. So that said, I think there's some quite impressive before and afters in the boosted images for like gutters and stuff. Like if you were to, like that top one, for example, like before, after, I think those sorts of shots are impressive. It's hard with gutters because sometimes they just look shit. Like that before and after, I wouldn't post that personally because it just doesn't look very impressive. The gutter's still dirty, but that's just the reality of gutter clearing. Whereas like that before, after, that's a lot more impressive to me because it actually looks clean. It's one of them, innit? It's just, it is what it is. This one as a progress shot, I think that's fine because the surface is clean. Even though I haven't done a chemical treatment yet, there's still a massive difference, and I like the hose going down the middle as well to differentiate. Yeah, it's not always easy. And the sun as well. The sun can be an absolute pain. The sun's my worst enemy when it comes to taking pictures. Look at these horrible shadows. I hate it. It absolutely ruins pictures sometimes. But that one, for example, I love that one. That's brilliant. Before, after. Same angle. no weird shadows, great transformation, completely changed the colour. That's just me being picky on the before and afters, though. It's not really going to move the needle for you in terms of feedback, so take my advice with a pinch of salt. I think it's more to do with things like consistency. I can see you being fairly consistent. You've got over a week between posts here, and then you do like a little flurry of posts over the next couple of days. Yeah, I think it's tough when you're starting out, because I don't know if you are starting out, by the way. It's difficult because you've not got a huge amount of content to post. What I would say is, when you do a job, just absolutely load up on content, load up on photos, so that if you have to use 3 sets of photos from one job to create 3 posts, that's absolutely fine, as long as they're different. I wouldn't go creating multiple posts using the same photos, but if you can just load up on loads of photos from the same job, just from different angles and stuff, that could help. And you could then, instead of posting twice a week, you could potentially post 5 times a week. You know what I mean? But I don't think you're doing anything inherently wrong, mate. I think everything looks great. You're doing a lot more than what most people are doing. It's just a consistency game now. It's just carry on doing what you're doing. I would. That's the thing that most people struggle with is, I've been doing this Facebook thing for 3 months now and I've only got 2 leads from it. And that's not the way it works. It's like, do it for a year, do it really well for a year, and then, you know, on that 13th month, you'll suddenly start reaping the rewards and thinking, now it's paying off, now I get it. You got to do it consistently. You can't expect like overnight success with it. Windows are hardest. I'm just bad at getting content. I forget all the time. Yeah, me too, mate. With how much we've had going on recently, unfortunately, the content has slipped for us. I've even stopped taking before and after pictures, which was second to the money, the main reason I wanted to do these jobs. I turn up to these jobs thinking, God, this is going to be a good one. First thing I'd do is get my phone out and start taking before pictures. And now that's the last thing on my mind at the minute. And I've got to keep remembering what made me successful in the first place. It was the content, and it was the response rate. How quickly I was getting back to my customers. How communicative I was. And it's sliding now, it's slipping, so I need to get that back. What drone are you using? I've got the DJI Mini Pro 3 with the proper remote control for 230 quid. Thought it was a steal at that price. I think I've got the same one, mate. The Mini 3. Mini Pro 3. I don't even think... Have I got the Pro? I don't know. Mini 3 with the proper remote I've got, yeah. I think it's a great drone. It comes with like loads of extra propellers as well for when you actually inevitably crash it. Been going for 3 years, barely posted, had family issues and just coasted the business. This year I have upped the game. Nice. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear you coming out the other end and it's you're making a push now. If I upload a before and after photo, what should I write in the post? This one's a struggle because when you've done thousands of them, it's like, okay, what do I write for this one? Something that you found interesting on the job. Don't do like, for example, 3 words like this: Monday morning transformation. This isn't going to stop anyone scrolling. They're going to look at the pictures. Oh yeah, look at that. Whereas if you write a story, it sounds sad. I know it sounds sad trying to create a story from a couple of pictures, but if you give people something to read and something to pause and click see more, like this one was a challenge today because ... or this one didn't quite go to plan, or this customer got in touch for this and this, but I advised them instead of doing that, you might want to do this. Like, just figure out either what made the job difficult, what made it interesting to you, what changed from when you got there to when you finished the job. There's it's difficult when you put short captions like this. The like rate and the sorry, I'm starting to get tired. The interaction rate is much lower. Whereas if you give something for someone to read, yeah, definitely mention the location. Also tag your location as well, which we just went through. But if you can give someone something to read, like generally all of my posts have quite a lot of text. They're quite text heavy, and it does seem to pay off with the interactions. Just talk about the challenges, talk about the job, make it less of an advert and more interesting. I think, I haven't said this for a while, but I do like to reiterate every now and again that I think people don't want to be advertised to anymore. So if you can create an advert without it looking or feeling like an advert, then you've won. Our job is very satisfying. It lends itself to satisfying content. So if you can pair that with some sort of story, it becomes more like entertainment than advertising. And I think that's what I try and lean into more, rather than saying here's a service that I can provide for you, get in touch. It's more like, oh, check this out, what we had to do today. It's less professional, it's more casual, but I think it makes for better customers and potentially more customers. People don't want to read adverts. People don't want to feel as if they're scrolling through an advertisement, especially when it's like interruption based, like Facebook stuff. Facebook's supposed to be entertainment. I think we can all agree we open Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube because we want to be entertained, not because we want to read adverts from professional businesses. So I think if you can turn your content into entertainment instead of advertising, I think that's a good place to be. ChatGPT is good for post ideas. I agree, Alex. I don't think you should just copy and paste a ChatGPT caption. You can tell a mile off that they're generated by AI, and it doesn't know your struggles. It doesn't know what you found interesting about the job. It doesn't know the products that you used. It doesn't know about your techniques. It doesn't know that it's your favorite job. It doesn't know that your customer was over the moon. Like, it knows nothing about you. It's got no context about you or the job unless you spend time typing it out and giving it context. In which case, you might as well just write the caption yourself. You could give it some images. If I was to throw these images into ChatGPT, it would create a compelling caption for me. But it would be so obviously AI generated that it would just lose all personality. And I think people get in touch with me because they see me doing the work. And as soon as I start putting some AI captions on my Facebook page, it stops being me and starts being just this generic slop. Even if the pictures are great, the captions are just going to be slop. So the best thing to do with AI, I think, if you've got a caption that's something like this, So many amazing transformations to catch up on. We've been working hard. This beauty over web, Heath. What you could do is copy and paste this into ChatGPT and say, can you make this sound more professional? Can you make this more engaging? Can you spell check it? Can you reformat it so that it reads more clearly? There's lots of things that you can get AI to help with without actually curating your content for you, because I don't think that's the way to go personally. It's up to you. You can do what you like, but when you use biocide, do you wait till the paving is dry or do you go straight in after rinsing? We go straight in. The rate in which it's going to dilute your product if the surface is damp is negligible. I think if the standing water, we don't do it with standing water. I'll say that. We don't do hypo, don't do biocide, anything like that when there's standing water. You can leaf blow the water away if you need to. You can brush it away, or just wait 5 minutes before you do the chemical treatment. By the time you've set up the chemical, I think it's fine to go straight in. We've never had any issues. Even on roof cleans, we'll do it on a wet roof, so we'll pressure wash the roof, and then we'll put the biocide straight on after we've cleaned the gutters out. Where would you push your reviews, Facebook or Google? I like both. I don't think it's good to have them all on one platform. So we've got roughly about the same amount of reviews. So we've got 107 reviews on Facebook, 5-star recommended. And then on Google, we have 123 reviews, 5 stars. So we're at about the same on both. I think it's good to have your eggs in 2 baskets at least, because if one of these, if you get review bombed on Facebook, for example, or Google, your Google page gets reported and it gets taken down or whatever it might be, that's all your reviews potentially gone. And so I would just spread them across 2. And most people have a Google account. Not everyone has a Facebook account, so I just like to offer both. When you've got a really nice customer, they'll do both. I'll say, if you've got 30 seconds, I'd really appreciate a review either on Google or Facebook. Here's the links. If you're feeling generous, you could do both. I don't push reviews as much as I should. We could have 1,000 reviews on each platform by now if I really pushed them, but I just don't bother. I should. I definitely should. Maybe that'll be an incentive for like Kieran. Like every time he gets a 5-star review, he gets some sort of monetary incentive or something, because that'll encourage him to push it with the customer then and follow up maybe old customers. Did you have a good experience with us? Can you leave a review? 5 quid, 10 quid, there you go. Now that Kieran's got access to all the messages and Instagram and emails and stuff. Guys, I'm going to go. It's been 3 hours and 15 minutes on this live stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the question time, Q&A time. And we did a little bit of a deep dive into upselling different services, pricing on block paving. That was a fun one. I enjoyed that. We'll have a little bit more structure next week as well. So have a couple of talking points. Bit of time at the end for Q&A. I think this is working well. If you haven't already, I'd like to play my intro again because I'm very proud of it. I made a new intro, and some of you guys might have missed it at the beginning. I'm going to play it for you now on the before I hit end stream, and you'll have to give me some feedback in the Discord. If you're not already part of the Discord, feel free to join up on the YouTube channel. Hit the join button. We'd be glad to have you. Here's my new intro for the live stream. Thank you all for watching. See you next week.